welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sunday Night Racing here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and we are at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the MPI Cup Series for race number 5. No, it may not be the new Atlanta here yet on iRacing, but it's not stopping these drivers from attacking this historic racetrack here tonight for 160 laps. But always here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, it's Sunday night action here with the MPI Cup Series, and tonight's race is brought to you by Abruzzi Racewear. It's the Abruzzi Racewear 250 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I am Zach Hall calling the action alongside me tonight. It's going to be Brian Johnson, and run production up in the booth as always. It's Robert Moyer Jr. But we have a heck of a race underneath us here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The old configuration is now we'll call it for the future races. But man, the last race we could possibly see on this surface here, and it's got some history here at the MPI Cup Series, Brian. But what a race here to kick off race number 5 here at the MPI Cup Series.
Yeah, tonight I think is going to be a pretty unique race because we got this next-gen car on the old Atlanta surface, so something that this car was never really intended to run on. So tonight we get a pretty unique situation out of these MPI Cup Series guys tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. These cars look like they're a big handful out there after a few laps.
They definitely do, Brian. It's a handful for sure. This track always known to cause those type of situations for these drivers, and it really be a driver's racetrack. So we can see who can get the grips with it. Like you said, this car not really meant to be here. So it's definitely probably throwing a little bit of a curveball for these drivers who are getting used to this style of a track here. In a bumpy track like this, it's known to upset that diffuser, and that's when we can get that bouncing effect of the race car, and it can lose a little bit of downforce. So we'll have to see how that affects them tonight. And tire wear is always a critical factor also here when we're at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But man, Brian, a great set of group of drivers we have here at the MPI Cup Series. But we also got 2 new drivers joining us here, and that's going to be the 26 of Logan Sturgeon there. He's going to be out there on the racetrack, and along with the 29 of Curtis Kelly, who's going to be joining Fast Banana Racing. So he's going to be hopping up there in the 29. So we got 2 newcomers, but a great field already through 4 races. It's been a whirlwind of storylines.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So after about 4 races in a season, you kind of get a pretty good snapshot about the guys to watch, who you need to keep your eye on. And, so far this season, it's Austin Reedy up top, only guy in the whole field to have 4 top 5s in 4 starts. So extremely impressive. He finished 3rd last week. He sounded pretty disappointed, wanted to get that win over at Phoenix. But, tonight's a mile and a half, and he's had some pretty good success there. So Austin Reedy right now, he's got that early season momentum going for him. But we'll have to see who can see if they can knock him off that pedestal up there. You have Mario Miranda, last week's winner. He's 4th in points, so not too far behind, had some pretty good finishes for himself there. And then our other winner this season, Warren Keith, 3rd in points. So, you got some guys that are just on the heels of Austin Reedy, even though he does have that 33-point lead up there.
Yeah, that's going to be a good gap for him to have coming into this race. And we were going to see if he was going to be able to go 5 for 5, coming into this season for top 5s. But at the moment, looking at our entry list right now, Brian, I'm actually not seeing Austin Reedy out here tonight. So not sure if he'll be able to make it here to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We know Mount House definitely more on his side of his style. We've seen that short track he struggled a little bit more, even though he was still able to come out of there with a strong finish last week. But doesn't look like Austin Reedy is out here on the racetrack yet, and we haven't seen him put down any time. So we'll have to see if our points leader can make it out here tonight, Brian.
Yeah, and unfortunately, qualifying is about to start. So if he has not joined at this time, I don't believe he'll be able to make it. I could be wrong, but that is unfortunate because yeah, like you said, Zach, I wanted to see if he could go 5 for 5 in top 5s. That would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, it definitely would be, and I believe he still has at least 10 minutes. I have till the end of qualifying here, so a 10-minute session in qualifying. I think he's got that amount of time to get into the session. And we'll have to see if he can get out there because definitely would be wanting to see our points leader out there on the racetrack. But looking through the rest of the points, Brian, we looked through the list ourselves here, and it is a pretty wild mixture of mixed bag. There, as we talked about last week, kind of a lot about Ross Harlow, Zach Wilson, how they need to have bounce back races. Both those drivers did gain positions and points last week, but not as many as they want to. Ross Harlow actually, even after having a tough race and getting involved in another major incident, he still gained 7 spots by being able to make it through the race and just salvage what he could there. So, I mean, it's a tough deal there. After Phoenix, those drivers having really good speed but not getting the finish they want. But Harlow back there in 33rd and Zach Wilson, two of our Final Four contenders, they're going to be wanting to move their way farther up the board. Another one of our Final Four contenders there, he moved 4 spots up from the 17th spot, and that's a Wyatt Brackett from last season. So it's looking good for those drivers. But like I said, Zach Wilson and Ross Harlow, they may turn it around here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway because, man, looking at the past, they've both been drivers that have led laps here.
Yeah, and that's good news for them because looking at Ross Harlow's stats this season, he does not have a top 10 in the first 4 races. So I think heading into this 5th race here, your goal at this point is hey, we just need to get top 10. Once we get some top 10s going, then we can shoot for top 5s and then go for those podiums and maybe get that win. But going back to the talking about points and kind of the big gainers from last week at Phoenix, Steven Stimpian up 7 spots into 6th place. You've got Brandon Banks there in 9th, up 9 spots. And then let's see, there was one more guy. Yes, Joseph Mahar. He's in 15th place, up 9 spots from last week, and as well as Parker Bland up to 18th, gained 10 spots last week at Phoenix. So, last week Phoenix, it kind of jumbled up the points a little bit, and a lot of guys were able to gain a lot of positions, just kind of staying out of trouble and having a solid day.
Yeah, Phoenix. It's been an interesting season almost at every single racetrack, Brian. Just due to the fact that the races here at the MPI Cup Series are on the longer side. If they're not a full length race, they're the length of a regular NASCAR Xfinity race. So this is one of our actual shorter oval races here, as it's a 250-mile race here at Atlanta. So it gets these drivers 160 laps than what we were seeing before of 200. Possibly for a 300-mile race. So it is a little bit shorter distance than what we've seen, previous in the season. So maybe drivers won't see as much of that attrition kicking in because the more laps you get, the more chance for mistakes to be made, and that's where you see drivers start to make those mental laps later into the race. But we can see maybe a few drivers make it a little bit better through here tonight for 160 laps, so the 250 miles. But Atlanta in itself is so grueling. I just can't wait to see who can pull all the sauces. Man, Dakota Curtis, he went to the top of the board there in the one machine. He's going to need a good run coming into the night there. So great job by him to put himself out front right now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Tonight here at Atlanta, you're definitely going to want some track position. That's going to be one of your best friends. It seems like we say that at every track, and it is true. Track position does help, but here at Atlanta, I think tonight we may see some guys struggle to pass people kind of late in the run. So you want to get these positions right from the get-go, and of course, in addition to having that track position to start the race, you also get that #1 pit stall, which is always super important.
That normal pit stall at D, Brian, is always super important, my friends. But I tell you what, looking at these qualifying laps, we're seeing a lot of people take the high line in 1 and 2, and it's looking to be the dominant line right now for speed, and then down at 3 and 4, right to the bottom. And as we say that, Zach Wilson, I mean, he continued his dominant, like just a dominant form of qualifying. If he can translate this to his race finishes, Zach Wilson will be looking to make up a lot of ground here coming through the season. But he's just been qualifying really well, but not having the race finishes to go along with it. Sooner or later, that's got to turn around for him, Brian.
Oh yeah, and here at a track like Atlanta, that's probably one of the best places to do it. The driver's track, shorter race here, so less opportunities for something bad to happen to you. So I think Zach Wilson, if he can minimize those mistakes, he's got a pretty good shot here tonight. Because like you said, Zach, he's got that short run pace going for him, that early race pace, but just haven't been able to really clean it up and make it to the end. But I got a good feeling about him tonight.
Definitely do also, and we do get an update and confirmation out there in chat that Austin Reedy won't be here tonight. Is out due to work. So shout out to Austin Reedy, our point leader. He'll be back with us next week. I'm sure he'll be right back in contention there to see if he can get that fifth top five for 5 races to start off his season. But it'll be race number 6 of that season. He's got a sizable points gap, Brian. There, that 33-point gap to be able to sit back on his laurels right here, and no, he's not going to lose too many spots. Also, with those wins to help him get himself to the playoffs.
And as we see one of our new drivers, Logan Sturgeon, just putting in his fast lap, that's going to put him, looks like, to be about 8th place with a 31.495. So good job for him getting that top 10 start here in his first race.
That is a great job there by Logan. So, wasn't in the top 10 in practice there, but practice times can be skewed by those drafting times, and that's what we're seeing, I think, from a lot of these guys is, the big difference, Brian, that I'm seeing a lot of times is we're watching our winner from Las Vegas, Warren Kyle Keith there, try to make his way forward, and look at that, third on the board for him in that 42 machine. So another great lap there from him, and he started off his season very interestingly, where he didn't qualify up front a lot, but he drove his way through the field. Now he's starting to qualify near the front. That's going to place him in a lot better position coming down to the finale of this race. But Ross Harlow here, past season champion from last season, can he get it done here in qualifying? What does he have in that 5 machine? It's going to be a 31.29.6. That's going to put him second on the board there. Great time by Harlow. And actually, as I say that, Muscarella comes in and puts the top time in there in the 48 machine. So the back times coming through, and the leaderboard changing at any minute.
Yeah, Alex Muscarella able to just inch right ahead of Zach Wilson, 3 thousandths quicker than Zach Wilson to claim that pole as of right now. We have probably about half the field that hasn't gone to take times yet. They have about 2.5 minutes, so we'll see who elects to keep putting on these qualifying laps, as we got Mario Miranda, last week's winner, claiming the pole right now with a 31.203, so quite a bit faster than Muscarella and Wilson.
That is a fantastic lap from an 8-time winner last season. I mean, the driver that was possibly the favorite going into that season finale didn't get it done. Mario Miranda starting to show again why he had those wins to go back to his name. And man, after Phoenix last week, I mean, just a dominant performance from him. He really got back into that form. This is a scary sign to see how much farther how much time he's put between him and his competition here, as we're watching 88 and Justin Winters also put time in.
Yeah, and I tell you what, when your qualifying lap is that much faster than second place right there, I mean, you're talking 8 tenths, which is a pretty sizable gap in qualifying times. If we have a late race caution and it's a green-white checker and everybody's on the same tires and Mario Miranda is up near the top 3, that's going to be a guy to watch because he obviously has some short-run pace tonight.
We're going to have to watch for sure for that short-run pace indeed, Brian. And the 18 here, Ray Rogers, normally a pretty quick here at these 1.5 miles, has shown in the past here at the MPI Cup Series to be able to get it done here at tracks like this. We'll see where he goes up to, and look at that, the times. I don't know if the track has cooled down as we've went through the session, but the times have gotten quicker and quicker. Is there Brandon Banks now takes the top time, Brian? I think that this track is going through a little bit of a change here.
Well, I just looked at the track temp. It is down 1 degree from the beginning of qualifying. We now actually too. We started qualifying with a track temp of 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're down to 114. So I think all these guys waiting, they made a good call.
What a call there from Brandon Banks so far to put him atop the board in the 54 machine. And I mean, he had a sneaky run last week at Phoenix. We could very well see him right back in the mix here tonight as he's put himself atop the board here in our qualifying session with about 15 seconds left. We're going to see if anybody has anything for the driver out front. Last time we were at the Atlanta Motor Speedway last season, the season number 4 for the MPI Cup Series, it was Austin Shoemaker our winner. He has not put a qualifying lap down right now. He sits 33rd on the board, and it looks like qualifying session is going to come to an end, and Banks is going to hold on to it as we're going to look to bring that grid up here in the next few moments. But Man, what a job by Brandon Banks there to put down the time to put himself atop the board here for tonight's Abruzzi Raceware 250 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the MPI Cup Series. That is a great way to start off his 160 laps here from this historic racetrack. As we pull up our starting grid, here it is. Brandon Banks, your pole setter. Alongside him is going to be last week's winner, Mario Mirinda. Third's going to go to Ray Rogers. Fourth's going to be Alex Muscarella, the most laps led there. Las Vegas looking to do a mile and a half action here again. Fifth is going to be Zach Wilson. Sixth is going to be last season's champion, Ross Harlow, looking for a bounce back. Seventh is going to be Dakota Curtis with a strong qualifying result. Eighth is going to be Joe Sanchez. Ninth is going to be Lawson Field. And rounding out that top 10 is our Las Vegas winner, Warren Kauke.
Then you're going to have Joseph Mahar in 11th, Judd Danielson in 12th, Richard Swavely in 13th, Wyatt Brackett 14th, Steven Stimpian in 15th place, Parker Bland starting 16th, Kip Easley 17th, Garrett Brown in 18th place, Logan Sturgeon, new driver, in 19th place, and Justin Hendry going to round out your top 20.
And 21st is going to be the three machine of James Kunkel. 22nd is going to be Justin Irby. 23rd is going to be the eight of Dylan Hastings. 24th is going to go to Daniel Holcraft. 25th is going to be Sean Callis. 26th is the eight of Justin Winters. 27th is going to go to Jeffrey Ford. 28th is going to be Charles Phelps. 29th is the 7 of Isaac Mock. And rounding out that top 30 is a newcomer, Curtis Kelly.
Then in 31st, you're going to have Brad Fulham, Shane Wyatt, 32nd, Daniel Michelle, 33rd, Austin Shoemaker, 34th, Brian Curry, 35th, Chris Shoemaker in 36th, Dustin Reeves, 37th, Bill Schoonover in 38th, Travis Stevens, 39th, and Chris Brogar going to round out the field in 40th position.
That is your starting grid here tonight for the Abruzzi Raceware 250 for the MPI Cup Series. And they're going to be looking to pull off the starting grid here with our cars all bringing down the pace here by the iRacing pace car. And Brandon Banks, like I said, Brian, he is just, I mean, set the world afire there with that lap time. We were seeing the times really start to click in there the last moment. We'll see if that pace is true. Right now, best place to start out front, or start, is out front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to get that clean air. That's always going to help tire wear and just pace in general. But I think anywhere inside the top 10 is pretty safe. If you're anywhere back, probably 15th on, your first goal is just to try to get as much track position as possible and stay out of trouble. These cars, like I said earlier, after a handful of laps, probably 10, 15 laps, these things become pretty evil. So got to make sure you get out from ahead, or you get ahead of all that trouble.
Stay ahead of the trouble here for 250 miles here for the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the MPI Cup Series. It's Brandon Banks out front. Alongside him, it's going to be Mario Mirinda, last week's winner from Phoenix, and Ray Rogers third, Muscarella fourth. Rounding out that top five, it's going to be Wilson as the pace car pulls in. We're going to kick off the Abruzzi Raceware 250 here as Barney's got the green flag waiting in his hand. The MPI Cup Series, his green flag is in the air. We're off and away for 250 miles here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway as they storm down to turn one.
Nice smooth start from everybody. Looks like Mario Mirinda gonna take the lead here and clear Brandon Banks. And he's putting on a gap of him as they head out of two.
Great job by Mirinda there to take control of the lead. Here comes a run from Muscarella into 48. Looking to the inside here, down into 3 and 4. Muscarella led the most laps at Las Vegas, trying to get another lap led here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But Mirinda, last week's winner from Phoenix, he holds on to that top spot.
Yeah, Mirinda just picking up right where he left off, back in the lead. Muscarella not too far behind. Then you have Ross Harlow looking to try to bounce back and have a good finish for him. Right now he sits third and inching his way closer to the lead.
I tell you what, our pole setter, Brandon Banks, he is dropping back quickly here. And, this is something we've seen from Brandon Banks. He is very methodical and will give up positions on that short run to get him back on the long run right there from the lead. Going to quickly already be dropped behind the 51 of Zach Wilson. That's going to drop him back all the way to the 6th position, 2 laps into this race.
Yeah, well, Zach, you got to consider first stage ends on lap 40, so you got to make these tires survive this abrasive old track surface for 40 laps, and that can be difficult to do, especially with these high-speed the center of the corners being so high speed, as we see a battle for the lead going on right up ahead. Mirinda up high and Muscarella down low. Muscarella may lead this lap.
Look at it. Goes Muscarella led that one. But here comes Mirinda fighting back to try to get the lead. He's going to have possibly the help of the 5 of Ross Harlow, as we're going to see here in the opening laps. It's going to be about how do you work together as Muscarella makes the big move. Miranda, though, has the big save as now Harlow goes to his outside. It's going to be the battle for second, heading down to 3.
Yeah, Miranda trying to utilize that outside lane in 1 and 2, which can be really, really fast, but it does seem like the car likes to get loose on exit right there. So good save by him and able to save that second place position, keep that for himself. Ross Harlow not too far behind, but Zach Wilson trying to get into the mix of things as Ross Harlow trying to look to the inside of Miranda coming out of 2.
Look at this battle all around the racetrack. Everybody trying to find some grip here early in the going as Miranda hangs on the second, Harlow in the third, Wilson now up to fourth as these drivers all are making some aggressive moves. Rogers just dropped back to fifth. Joe Sanchez has made his way up into the sixth position. One of our top 3 finishers from Las Vegas in that 55. They start to break away as Kyle Keith, he's the leader of the pack from behind, but our pole setter Brandon Banks, he continues to drop back here in the 54. He's up high, almost outside of the top 10 now, as he's going to be having the 85 of Judd Danielson and the 81 Steven Stippian behind him, looking to possibly take him outside that top 10.
Yeah, I really, really hope that that this is planned and this is just tire saving, and he's going to come back after about maybe 20-25 laps. As up front, still very, very hectic. We were 3 wide there for a moment, but yeah, from Brandon Banks, I really hope this is planned.
We're definitely hoping he can get it figured out in that 54 machine, as we've seen how quick he's been on the long runs. As we hop on board with Joe Sanchez here in the 55 machine. Up ahead of him directly, it's Ray Rogers. Ross Harlow, who's gotten passed by Zach Wilson now, who's up to the 3rd spot, who's charging through the field there from that 5th starting spot. He's going to look to get to the inside of Miranda here, heading into 1. He's going to get there now as they head off directly even here, is side by side through the center. It's going to be Wilson trying to get a nose ahead here and slide up in between Muscarella and Miranda in that 99 machine. He gets it done.
Yeah, and you can see Zach Wilson really utilizing that middle and bottom lane and getting around Miranda right there. That was just kind of riding the top. So, early in the run, maybe that bottom lane, you're able to make some stuff happen as he's looking to get the lead from Muscarella.
A very aggressive move there from the 51 of Wilson. He waits no longer to go for that lead once he got the second. And, you got to say, Brian, clean air, it is very valuable here on iRacing. It can affect tire wear, it can really affect how your run goes. So Wilson here is showing that he wants the lead very quickly, and Muscarella is showing he does not want to give it up. Is now Harlow and Miranda battle there for the 3rd spot. This group of 6, again, has pulled away from Warren Kyle Keith, as it looks like Warren Kyle Keith has got passed by possibly looks like the one of Dakota Curtis. So Dakota Curtis has now moved back into his starting position at 7th.
And Dakota Curtis maybe has found something as, they contact up front. Zach Wilson headed to the outside wall. He slams it. And
big moment. We're still green here, too.
Still green, absolutely.
And Wilson's still beating the wall down there. That is not good for the 51. Again, continuing his woes, and it started with the 5 in the 51 making contact. And looks like we're going to get a race control thrown caution here, as they felt that was enough to bring us to a yellow flag here in our first caution of the evening. And unfortunately for us, that means our software will most likely not be able to get this replay. But yeah, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it was the 5 of Ross Harlow getting up into the 51 of Zach Wilson just from the bottom lane coming up. And I don't know if Harlow thought that the 51 was up higher, but it was a very aggressive move to come right back up the racetrack, possibly to slide in behind him.
Yeah, well, going into that corner, Ross Harlow was down low and Zach Wilson was up in that top lane. And then in the middle of the corner, Zach Wilson comes down, takes that bottom lane, and right about the same time he moves down, Ross Harlow's starting to slide way up the track. And, unfortunately, I don't think Zach Wilson really appreciated it.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. The guy also who caught some of the worst of that also was Dakota Curtis in the 1. He took a heavy look to the outside wall. Mario Miranda in the 99 into the inside wall. And even Harlow, he got heavy right side damage, but via the I guess you could say the catalyst to that incident, he's going to come out the best of that. But the 99 of Miranda, last week's win, he's going to have a tough time getting that car fixed. It looks like his toe on that rear end is really knocked out askew.
Yeah, and that's yeah, he is. He's crab walking a little bit. That the front of the car tilted a little bit to the right from where it's actually traveling, and yeah, he's struggling on that banking, trying to get to the apron and down pit road. So hopefully that's not a whole lot of damage that he's got to fix, but I'd imagine it's probably several minutes. But I think he's just got to stick with it, get as much damage as he can get fixed right now, stick with it, and try to hold on to that little bit of momentum that he's got left after last week.
Yeah, you got to hold on to what you can. And another unfortunate sight to see two drivers already pulling their cars behind the wall, and it's going to be 40th and 39th for Brian Curry in the 77 machine and the 51 of Zach Wilson there. So Wilson, his woes continue, Brian. I mean, it's just I can't even explain how his season is win. I mean, up to this point right now, coming into this race, he's just had a tough time. It seems like each and every race. I mean, 32nd in points, and he's qualified third, first, seventh, and fifth. I mean, he's had great qualifying runs. Just as had 41st, 36, and now possibly 39th here tonight at Atlanta. After starting with a seventh place finish at Daytona, where you thought that's where you're going to have most of your woes and troubles, probably as a driver, you didn't expect it heading into these first four races that a Final Four contender would be finishing outside the top 35 each and every race.
Yeah, and unfortunately tonight, he was doing everything right. Qualified up front, was being really methodical, made it all the way up to second place, and just one of those unfortunate deals where you're kind of minding your own business, and all of a sudden your race is done. So, there's really it's not one of those situations where you gotta have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what you're doing wrong. Tonight he was doing everything right. So, maybe just in the future, just have to be even more careful than he already is, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, just unfortunate way to start out the season. But the best guys and the guys that make it to that Final Four, when they have a season that starts out like this, they figure out some way to turn it around. So I think that time will come for him eventually, but unfortunately tonight will not be the night.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel for three drivers there, really, and that is Zach Wilson there. Unfortunately, his night's over. Dakota Curtis, I mean, heavy right side damage after running seventh there. He needed a big turnaround here tonight. And then Mario Marin in the 99, he's still on pit road getting repairs done on that car, as it was major damage for him. Also, innocent bystander there just running by. His lonesome is now going to go back. Green flag race after the first caution of the night. It's Muscarella out front. Green flag is in the air as Rogers is going to get a little bit of wheel spin. That's going to let Warren Kyle Keith get to the outside here in the 42. And our winner from Las Vegas, after that incident, looking to be in a prime position once again, possibly to position himself for another great run.
Yeah, and while we were talking about that incident, we did miss Ross Harlow in the 5 car. He did elect to come down pit road and get that damage taken, so he is starting outside of the top 30 right now. But these guys up here, Warren Kyle Keith, looking on the outside of Muscarella, trying to get that clean air, make a run happen, as he's got that run as they come across the start finish line.
Yeah, they're going to be single filing out there for the first 6 positions. Back there battling now. It's going to be the 32, Richard Swavery. They're trying to get that 5th position from Joseph Mahar. And those are 2 guys up from 11th and 13th. As that incident there really took out a few strong contenders. Really 4 of them right in one swell swoop. So it's unfortunate to see that caution there. But man, right now we got some drivers up here trying to get some of their best runs of the season started.
Yeah, and just tonight, looking at the 88 of Justin Winters, started 26th and already all the way back up to 8th, or up to 8th position. So already making some big gains early in this race. As checking in on our pole sitter, Brandon Banks started first and is down to I believe about 14th. So this is kind of where he's been hanging out right now. So I think he's just biding his time and waiting for a long run to come his way.
And Banks is definitely a patient driver indeed, and that 54 machine is. We're right on board with Judd Danielson right here in this 6th position. He's trying his best to make it happen, but it's contact again here. Another wreck right in the middle of the pack. Big time incident here. More and more drivers compiled up into this one right in front of our faces here on the back straightaway, and this is an ugly sight to see here on lap 18 for a few drivers. This is not what they want to see happen. Judd Danielson, the 43 of Sean Callis. Man, oh man, this is a tough ordeal. Looks like Steven Stipping involved multiple drivers. I mean, Parker Bland into 01, just heavy damage for many of these contenders.
Oh yeah, I mean there had to be more than 10 cars involved right there. One car went for a wild ride, and yeah, a huge accident here early in the race.
I was going to have Lawson Bill in the 53, major damage to him, but we're going to go back on the Freaky Fast replay and see how this all came to sources. Oh, you can see Judd Danielson getting loose there. Winters up high into the wall when he made contact with Danielson. Danielson comes back up the racetrack, and there's the 24 coming into the picture, and now that's going to bounce him off the wall. Oh, it sends the 24 sideways, and from there, everybody trying to make it. Parker Blank gets involved. There goes Steven Stimping around the 81 machine. You can see Lawson Pill bouncing off the inside wall down there. I mean, just heavy damage. Charles Feltz also there trying to make it through. It's just, man, that Brian, it just went from a tough break for 3 or 4 drivers to a huge incident for about 10 or 15.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Danielson was just trying to slide up ahead of the 88 right there, and as soon as he slid up and the 88 took that air off of his spoiler, that's when he got loose, and you know, he overcorrected a little bit into the wall, got the 88 in the wall, and you know, we see what happened after that. So you know, you got to be careful what you're doing with these cars, because there's certain things that you can't do, or that rear end is just going to become like really unhappy with you, and I think that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, it just seems like they go in a blink of an eye, and man, that one mistake, it ends a lot of people's nights. I mean, Mario Miranda, we already know he was involved in the incident before that, but I can confirm he has pulled his car behind the wall now after trying to get it worked on. And yeah, tough break there is under our second caution of this evening here, second one of this first stage as we're trying to get to lap 40 for that stage. But right now, Muscarella out front. We've had, I mean, just craziness happen. I mean, if anything tells you how crazy this race has been, Chris Progar started dead last in this field in the 40th position. He's up to the 8th position. Chris Shoemaker, he started 36th. He's up to 9th. I mean, it is one of those races where, being out back was probably not the worst idea for a few of these guys who didn't qualify.
Yeah, and you know, going into this race, I wouldn't have thought that that was the strategy that would be winning right now. You know, usually it's all about track position. It's about those early pit boxes. It's about staying ahead of the trouble. But I guess when the trouble starts up front, it's really hard to stay ahead of it. So being as you know, just putting as much distance between you and the trouble as possible is the way to go. So yeah, you know, I guess the good thing is for at least with the Austin Reedy situation, with him not being here tonight, is that if you know, these big names, these fast guys up here in the front keep getting taken out, he's not going to really lose a whole lot of ground to him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right now, that's the case that we're looking at. You still got Warren Kyle Keith up there, so he's definitely going to be looking at that driver there to try to keep that points gap too. But man, this has shook up a lot of this race here. I mean, we still have 36 cars on the lead lap here, but man, it's a lot of damaged cars, like hurt cars. Even our pole setter Brandon Banks, I believe he's sitting on pit road, possibly getting his car. Yeah, he's getting his car worked on. So that just shows you, Banks had so much speed, and he's had so much long run speed, but he takes that chance to drop back into the mid pack, gets caught up in that incident, and he's still sitting on pit road. He's going multiple laps down now. So Banks, our pole setter, possibly already taking an early finish to his race.
Yeah, and looking at his car, yeah, he's got some heavy left front damage, so that's not something you're gonna want to be riding around with. So his you know, his 54 machine right there, pretty torn up. May go down another lap if he elects to, you know, try to get as much as this damage fixed before they go green. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. You know, it's just another guy trying to do everything right and just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it definitely is, and Just looking right now, just cars damaged. Judd Danielson, Brandon Banks, Dakota Curtis, Sean Callis, Lawson Pill, Justin Winter, Steven Stimpian, Wyatt Brackett, Logan Surgeon, Kip Easley, Parker Bland, Charles Feltz, James Kunkel, Justin Irby. I mean, it's a whole group of them there with major damage here 22 laps into this 250-mile race. But the pace car is going to look to pull back in this time as we got some more racing action to go as we go to stage 40 here. Green flag is back out in the way as Muscarella great with a great start. He pulls about a 4 or 5 car length gap heading down the one is now Joe Sanchez. He's going to look to take control of that second spot from Ray Rogers.
Yeah, Joe Sanchez with the power move on the inside, able to clear the 18 and get a couple more car links after that. Clear his way into second as you still have Mahar and you've got Warren Kyle Keith side by side as they head into 3, but Mahar really backs out of it as he's on the inside and Swavely up top trying to grab that position from him.
Look at Richard go in that 40, or sorry, the 32 machine. You also got the 42 of Warren Kyle Keith down below. Now Swavely makes the pass stick. He's up into the top 5 as now Kyle Keith drops back to the 6th spot. You're going to have Hastings there in the 8 machine behind. Also Shoemaker and Progar racing side by side, coming off the corner from there for the 8th and 9th spot.
And right now you got Ray Rogers looking to try to get his position back after that subpar restart from him. Wanted to do a little bit better right there, but Joe Sanchez just had a little bit of a better restart. But right now, as they cross the line to go to lap 25, right behind him, trying to find that clean air, trying to figure out a way to get that position back. As, these guys running that mid to high lane in 1 and 2, there are a lot of guys up front utilizing that bottom lane right now.
Yeah, everybody looking to run higher up the group for sure down there in 1 and 2. And 3 and 4, I see it spreading out more and more as the run goes on here. And, we haven't had a lot of green flag, the craziest amount of green flag laps here. Definitely of the 25 we've completed now, majority of them have been, or a good portion of them have been under yellow. So right now, we're starting to see that as the tires start to wear, they're starting to migrate even higher up the racetrack here through both sides. And if you can get some speed found on that bottom lane, you could be able to make some passes. It's just going to be a tough deal there as we're watching Chris Progrard in this 17 machine here. He's right on board with him. He's going to have a great shot of the field up ahead of him. 40th up to 8th, Brian. That's a good start in 26 laps.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would struggle to do anything better.
I couldn't agree more personally. Not much more we can ask for him other than, go to the league, Chris. You can do this, man. We believe in you. That 17 machine, he's always showing some great speed. And that's the one thing at Chris Progar I got to give the most, credit to. He doesn't qualify, doesn't show the craziest amount of speed during these races, but he's always there when it comes down to the finish. And that's what's going to get you into the points or into this playoffs possibly for him. So I'm telling you what, watch out for him all season. Might not have that raw breaking speed, but he can really put a full race together.
As we're watching these guys, Muscarella up in the lead. He's of the guys in the top 10, he's the one that's kind of up the highest. Everybody else kind of in that third lane in 1 and 2 at least. And in 3 and 4, you got some guys wanting to go to the bottom. You got Swavely down there in the 32. He's down there at the bottom, and then the 18 of Ray Rogers, he's looking down there too. But everybody else just kind of in that mid lane range, and that's pretty good. That leaves a lot of options for you as you're trying to figure out how you're going to save tires. You can either kind of dip down from the middle lane, or you can drift up to the top. So a lot of options for you in that middle lane.
Yeah, it definitely does give you options, especially when that second groove that they're running is up as high as they are. They're running almost on that seam there. This track really about 4, possibly even 5 lanes wide through the corner. So when you run up on top of that seam, it definitely gives you a little bit more luxury on that bottom to arc the corner more than what you normally would be able to. But yeah, I mean, we're just seeing though that outside line, it's very tough to pass that line. It's got such good momentum, and usually everybody when they go up down the straightaway, they swing up high. That's where the draft is. You don't get that help when you're down low like that right there, and you start to drop back.
I saw Richard Swavely right there in 1 and 2. He was kind of in that lower groove right there, and we saw him had a little bit of a loose moment coming out of 2, and was losing that momentum, that speed, and now he's got the 8 of Dylan Hastings all over his back bumper.
Hastings here trying to make something happen in the 8 machine. He goes to the low side here, but I think Swavely, he's going to have that top groove It's just going to be too much for the 8 machine to hold on. He's going to try to slide in behind, though, so he can hold on to that spot. Is right behind this group. It's the 11, Justin Hendry, the 4, Chris Shoemaker, the 5, Ross Harlow, our defending champion, Garrett Brown in the 16 also. And you also had Curtis Kelly there, the new rookie there with one of the other rookies, Shane White. So a great group of drivers back here all the way to the 14th spot.
Yeah, and Ross Harlow, got to remember, as a little bit of contact between the 8 and the 32. Swavely able to save it. He's on the apron, going to let everybody go by around the top side. But talking about Ross Harlow, he was running up front in the top 3. Had got that had that moment with Zach Wilson. Had to get damage fixed all the way back into 31st or 32nd position, and here he is all the way back up inside the top 10.
What a drive it is from our past series champion. He's had a tough season, man. It's been a lot of downs, not a lot of ups. But right now, driving through the field, that's got to be a great feeling for him, and especially when you got a little bit of damage, you're feeling that you got that fixed as you can move through the field. But Garrett Brown here in the 16, past champion here at the MPI Cup Series, he's trying to make something happen. Also there with the 4, Chris Shoemaker. This is for that 10th spot here, and that'll be for the final point of that the stage points. There is the top 10 get points here at lap 40.
Yeah, these guys, I'd have to imagine, are going to start getting pretty racy here, as we do have only 7 laps to go here in this first stage, or maybe 6 laps to go, if I'm able to do math. But 16 able to slide up in front of that 4 as these guys finally get single file, as they've been 2 by 2 for several laps.
Battling and jockeying, going back and forth here, and this is, like I said, right around those final spots for the points. It's Hendry and now Swavely, who is, was driven all the way up to the top 5, now dropping back pretty quickly as that 32 machine maybe used up those tires here, and not going to be in position possibly for those those points coming down when the stage hits here.
Yeah, the thing about these tires, is we got trouble headed into turn 3. Who is that? That's going to be the 42 of Warren Kyle Keith.
Oh no, our winner from Las Vegas. That is not what you wanted to see happen for Warren, and he's going to immediately tow that car back to pit road, and that is going to bring out our 3rd caution of the night, and that's going to be right within the window of the stage here within 5 laps, and this could possibly be our stage caution right here. So we'll have to wait if we can hear anything out there from the chatter, but right now we're going to go on our Freaky Fast instant replay and see what exactly brought the caution. What was the issue for Warner Kyle Keith? And Ray Rogers having a mistake, comes back up the racetrack and nowhere to go for Warren Kyle Keith. And man, oh man, Brian, he's going to bring it behind the wall and end his day with this incident, and that has got to be super frustrating.
Yeah, the 18 there, we kind of missed that at the beginning of the replay, but outside of that frame there, he was trying to make a move for the lead and just got loose up underneath Muscarella there, and came back up onto the track, and unfortunately Warren Kyle Keith was there.
Yeah, just wrong place at wrong time there, as you can see. Nothing Warren Kyle Keith could have done there, as Rogers trying to save that car and gets back up into the racing line, and tough break for that 42, who, like I said, has brought it behind the wall. And with this caution here, I believe this should be our stage caution due to the fact that where it happened. So, and what a crazy wreck we just seen there, taking out one of our top contenders and one of our winners throughout this season. Looks like Alex Musgrove going to win the race off of pit road. As he comes off of pit road, we're going to believe so far that he is the stage winner. So with this caution here, we're going to head to a quick commercial break during this stage break.
There is Max Papis in the Ferrari. As great a race as Ferrari has ever won.
The steering wheel for me has always been a sensitive spot. There's a whole experience there that we're all trying to refine. Max Pappas, he asked me one day, he says, what can I do with a wheel? I said, well, with the new
is that I own MPI, the steering wheel company, and I'm building the steering wheel. This is my creation.
This is yours.
Yes.
It's so sexy.
The steering wheel, it's a very unique thing. It's shaped on the hand of Scott Dixon.
His hand.
Yeah. This grip has 27% more grip feel than suede. Scott in the race is gonna make less effort when he drives. When you're in the car, it's like lifting, it's like having 40-pound dumbbell like this, maybe more in the car.
For how long?
3.5 hours. You know, average heart rate in the car, never below 150. Never below 150. You need to be a real athlete to drive.
Yeah.
They exercise every day. So this is my creation.
Amazing.
And we did.
And we're back here at the MPI Cup Series. I'm Zach Hall, and alongside me is Brian Johnson. We're calling all the action here for the Abruzzi Racewear 250 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are just, we believe, finishing up our stage, unless they throw a caution immediately when they take off. That's what we'll have to see. But we believe that should have been the stage break there with Muscarella bringing home stage 1 victory. There is with that caution. And Brian here re-racked him back up, man. This is going to be a wild restart here to start off stage number 2. And, the more and more we get farther in this race, the more it picks up.
Absolutely, that intensity does pick up with every lap that we take off. But Muscarella is showing a strong performance here tonight. Ross Harlow back up into the 4th place position. Good bounce back from him, and gotta look and be on the lookout there for Joe Sanchez. He's been pretty good on these restarts. Got to see what he's about to do right here.
Gonna be a wild restart here to start off stage 2, and since it's gonna be so good and so great, we're gonna do a butt kicker. Crank it up restart here, Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as we're getting ready to come back to green flag racing here. Barney with the flag, waiting with the flag man. There he is, waving the green flag as we're back underway with Muscarella out front. We're going to crank it up here, brought to you by Butt Kicker. That was our butt kicker bringing it up here for this restart of stage number 2 here at the MPI Cup Series for the Abruzzi Racewear 250. If you want to get a butt kicker game or two, make sure you head on over to buttkicker.com and you can feel what you've been missing. You can also use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off from any purchase there at buttkicker.com. As you can see right there on our ticker, make sure you head on over there to buttkicker.com and you can feel what you've been missing. Brian, back to green here, and man, right now Muscarella trying to open up the gap, but look who's back up to 2nd. It's the 5 of Ross Harlow after his mistake early in the race getting into the 51. He now up to the 2nd position at 5 machine.
Absolutely, and then we just had finally, after probably about 4 or 5 laps, ever since we went back green, Joseph Mahar, Dylan Hastings racing side by side. Mahar was finally able to clear the 8 and capture that 3rd position for himself as these top 3 running that outside groove, but the 8 not too far behind as he's still looking to battle for that position on the bottom.
Hastings trying to make something happen here, and great drive for him. 23rd up to 4th here. He's got Mahar directly ahead, like you were alluding to, Brian. But and he gets something done here because those top two are starting to pull away. And this is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing here early in this go. We've seen, someone a 6-car breakaway up top. Now it's the top two starting to pull away, and it's the battle for third. Mahar going to get passed by Hastings there as they slide off a 2, and Sanchez now into that 5th spot, going to try, or 6th spot, going to try to close that. As they round out a 4 here, it's going to be side-by-side action there. Sanchez is trying to work over Garrett Brown, just cannot get to the door yet of that 16 machine to get something working. But again, Progar there in the 7th position from the 40th starting spot. He gets a little bit loose on the bottom lane. He's got to check up a little bit as that lets Shoemaker and the 4 machine go around the outside there from the 36th start spot. He's up to 7th now. It looks like it'll be Swavely there trying to make something happen in that 32 machine.
Yeah, the rear ends of these cars, it seems like they're just such on a fine edge, and as soon as you cross it, the rear ends just really want to slide around it. And I thought we were going to see this kind of towards the middle or late of the late laps of a run, but even early on in this run here, I mean, we've only been green for maybe 6-7 laps, and already the rear ends of these cars being very unstable.
We've seen this next gen car. It's on the knife edge. It's a hard car to drive, and that is what I think personally, down to the fact that you're producing a lot of downforce due to the floor of these race cars. All it takes is one little moment to upset those aerodynamics underneath the floor of that car, and it's going to completely have a dynamic effect where you're going to suddenly lose all grip there on that rear end, where most of your downforce is coming from that rear diffuser. So, man, it's an interesting subject, but I tell you what, it's made driving these cars a lot more tough. We've seen the side force in the past with the Gen 6 era Cup cars. Really kind of, you can get sideways and they kind of come back around. They do it themselves. This car, you have to predict it, be on top of your game, because if you don't, you can be sideways. And we've seen already tonight, but one little mistake happens, it translates down the straightaway. It seems like, just because you slide coming out of 2 or out of 4, doesn't mean you're not going to wreck if you save it coming out of this corners, because the halfway down the straightaways where a lot of times we're seeing the wrecks continue on tap.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, saw out of the corner of my eye there, Richard Swavely get really loose coming out of 2, and like I said, Zach, able to save it, and unfortunately lost a good handful of positions right there, but able to keep it out of the wall and whatnot. But we've been looking at Garrett Brown the past few laps, and just looking at the intervals right here, the top 3 right now, they've kind of got themselves a 1-second buffer between themselves and 4th place. So top 3 right now looking very fast.
Yeah, and Hastings in the 8 machine, I mean, he has driven himself up into the picture. I was talking about these top 2 driving away. Well, Hastings, he drove himself up to these top 3, and it's brought these 3 about 1.4 seconds out ahead of Joseph Mahar. And, when they get together like this, Brian, it just seems like Mahar closing in now also. It seems like, you can pull away just a little bit, but after a little bit, those tires start to wear out. You start to reel them back in, and right now, Muscarella trying to do his best job like he did at Las Vegas to lead the most laps, but this time he's got to finish it, Brian. He cannot let this race get away from him at the end.
Yeah, right now he's just got to keep up what he's been doing. Forget about that incident earlier. We've already bounced back from that, but yeah, just gotta keep it safe right now. A podium would be really good for him in the points. Phoenix gained 7 positions in the championship points, so looking at even a bigger gain if he finishes in 2nd place tonight.
Yeah, Ross Harlow definitely going to be looking for that type of a night indeed. As we look back at this log jam we got here, looks like it's going to be the 81 of Steven Stippy and the 3 of James Kunkel who are battling off at turn number 4 there. And looks like Steven Stippy will make the passes now. Travis Steven also in the 2 machine looks to go to the outside of the 3, just can't get there yet. But yeah, Steven Stippy, one of the more damaged race cars out there on the racing surface, also along with Wyatt Bracken in the 10 up ahead of him. So really everybody from, really 12th on forward is the only clean cars. Even Curtis Kelly has a little bit there, so really 11th on forward may be our only clean race cars left in this race so far.
Well, yeah, and I think if I looked correctly, the aid of Dylan Hastings, he had some heavy rear end damage, so not going to be hurting him aerodynamically wise, but even second place right now has some damage. So a clean car is pretty hard to come by here tonight, apparently.
It is. Look at this battle starting to brew a little bit. Hastings, he ran up to the back of Harlow and Muscarella. He's now there. He's in between them, and he's going to try to make something happen, possibly for the lead. Is behind this group, Mahar 1.7 seconds back. They're starting to lose a little bit more ground on that top group there, especially that last time by. So we'll see how that works out. But you're having a lot of drivers battling back here. Chris Progar trying to go forward. Joe Sanchez there directly behind Garrett Brown. It's tough here, Brian. You want to make up the time to the leaders up ahead, but you also feel like you're getting held up a lot of times here. Sanchez is going to be trying to make the move there on Garrett Brown back there for the 5th position as Hastings was looking for the lead, just couldn't get it done. But yeah, there it is. Sanchez trying to get that top 5 spot. And Sanchez, again, just a driver, a rookie that's showing a lot of consistency. Went super, super good there at Las Vegas, and now showing it again here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, he made that move on the 16th just then on the bottom lane and, really made that thing stick here with about, 16 laps into this run. So even with the tires already up to temp, a little bit worn, able to keep it, with him being able to keep the car on that inside lane right against that white line, that's pretty impressive at this point as he's looking to go around Mahar right here. Is he going to be able to clear him? Mahar's going to have a run coming out of 2, but he gets a little bit loose, and Sanchez right there going to be able to clear and take 4th place position.
That is big time moves there from Joe Sanchez to get up to 4th, and now this releases him to try to see if he can run down that group ahead. It's going to be tough, but he's going to have some clean air and be able to do it. Now Progar, he goes back to the bottom lane, just can't make something happen. He's now to the back bumper Garrett Brown, but he's got Shoemaker also there, along with Hendry not too far behind. Shane White, also another rookie back there in 10th. So some great runs all around here. But look at this, full him back here in the 45 trying to make something happen. He gets a little bit loose, checks up, and it's going to let the whole group go around the top side. Steven Stippian and Travis Stevens.
Yeah, just little mistakes cost you a lot of momentum. And, it's just one of those things. You got to stay perfect. You got to, if you want to keep that track position and keep that speed up. As these guys anywhere between 12th and about 6th right here, right on top of each other, 2 by 2. Got guys like Chris Progar trying to make that inside work again. You got to remember he started 40th position, dead last in this field, and up to 8th position. So we've talked about it, brought it up a couple times, but I just got to say that's pretty impressive.
It definitely is, and we love to see drivers driving up through the field. As we look on board here, this is with Dustin Reeves back here in the 23rd spot. He's battling with an eye on a Bill Schoonover, and that's actually the 53 Lawson Hill there, down on the inside of Dustin Reeves there. As they're going to be running off of turn number 2, and Reeves looking for a good run there, starting for that 37th position. Going to look for a top 29 here possibly.
Yeah, Lawson Peel, running just ahead of him in 23rd. He started 9th, so, one of those cars that he must have got caught up in something early. His rear bumper cover is missing, as we get we can see a pretty good shot of his gas tank there as we're riding with him right now. But, just one of those cars gotta make the best of a bad situation, and I think that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I believe he was involved in that major wreck we had on the back straightaway right there at some point. So, yeah, Lawson Peel, unfortunately, major damage. Like you said, going to have to work with that. As now Reeves going to try to make something work from the top line, see if he can make a run here for the 53 of Lawson Peel. But we're going to jump back up in the field, and it's going to be the 16 Garrett Brown up here, as he's still running in that 4th spot there. I tell you what, this has got interesting. Right now, Hastings has gone backwards, as this is, where's Ross Harlow even gone? Harlow was looking major incident for Harlow. He actually has Muscarella get loose, come down to him, actually, and then Hastings hits him. He slides down and hits the inside wall. He's super slow getting back up the pace. and it has even more left side damage on that race car, and he's going to be all the way back around the 13th spot back there for Richard Swavely. So what a chain of events here in Atlanta. It seems like it's every time Ross Harlow gets his nose towards the lead of this race, it just seems to push him farther back.
Yeah, just unfortunate timing from him, but I think he did the best he could saving that thing. He's got heavy left side damage, on the left front there and the left rear, so that left front damage definitely going to be slowing him down here. If he could just make it to the end of the stage and not lose his not lose too many positions, get that damage fixed. And we've seen him drive up through the field one time. I think he could do it again. But, just, again, another case of wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, never doubt the champion, they would say, is Richard Swavely there, who got by him in the 32 machine, so he's up one more spot. But I tell you what, with that whole incident there, it's really brought the whole top four together. Is right now Muscarella only a 0.3 of a second lead over Joe Sanchez. Hastings back to fourth. Is now Garrett Brown up to the third spot. As these drivers continue to move forward, Joe Sanchez and Brown looking very, very good right now at the moment.
Yeah, last lap, actually, Joe Sanchez was a 10th quicker than Alex Muscarella. This time by Muscarella ran a 32.34 to Joe Sanchez's 32.28. So Joe Sanchez just a little bit faster right now as Muscarella, big loose coming out of two. What a save by him, but everybody going to run around his outside.
Muscarella so strong through the first portion of this race, but in the closing stages of stage 2, he has just had a major moment again there off of turn number 2 after just getting into Ross Harlow not too long ago. Similar incident there from there as he's dropping now back all the way to the 5th position. This could be Progar going to the inside now as the lead is transitioned over to Joe Sanchez's hands here in the final moments of the stage 2. We're going to have to get to lap 80 here. Can Sanchez do it there in the final 15?
I gotta say, it's going to be tough with Garrett Brown right on his back bumper, putting a lot of pressure on him right now, especially with the way these cars look. I mean, Muscarella was, looking to be the guy to beat tonight. Now, granted, he did have that clean air up front, and, he had a couple guys catching him, but he was looking really strong. And, 2 out of the last 5 laps just had a little bit of a moment out of 2, a little bit loose. And, so these guys got to really, dot their T's and cross their I's. Dot their I's and cross their T's, and just make sure that these little mistakes can be really, really costly. So with Garrett Brown really pushing that 55 of Joe Sanchez right there, putting that pressure on him, Joe Sanchez has to really have the mental fortitude to really just kind of not make any mistakes, and I think he'll be the winner of the stage.
I tell you what, Muscarella made another big mistake. He drops all the way back to 6th. Even though he was back to 6th, he almost had an interesting hit to the inside wall. He had a big slide there in 1 and 2. I had to catch that car all the way by the inside of the wall and lost a lot of time there. As now behind him, Justin Hendricks closing in super quickly in the 11, and it's just showing how much the 48 is struggling right now as he just tries to limp out to the end of the stage here at lap 80.
Yeah, and one thing that this car, when you're driving it, even the old A car too in the Gen 6, one thing you had to really be mindful of with the tire model that we have is, if you slide once, you've really got to baby that thing around the corner for probably the next 5 or 6 laps. If you aren't careful, you're just going to continue to slide and heat those rear tires up, and just keep compounding those slides, and that's really detrimental to the tires. And I think that's kind of what he's struggling with right here. He wants to be fast, and he was trying to keep the lead up there, so really pushing it, but you really can't drive through the slides with these things, or you're just going to end up destroying the tires.
Got a good battle going up for the lead too, as they're not caring too much about tires up there. Sanchez and Garrett Brown side by side, actually about to cross the start finish line. Last time by, it was Sanchez leading. Garrett Brown used the lap car Parker Bland as a pick, made the pass happen down in 1 and 2. Sanchez gets the 1 through 3 and 4, gets back to the inside of Parker Brown here, Garrett Brown there, and he's trying to make his way to that top spot. But Garrett Brown there, man, really good job of using Parker Bland in the 01. He gets to the top position here in less than 10 laps to go in this stage, and he's looking to close this one out. Is not too far behind, third.
Yeah, Garrett Brown, really good job utilizing that outside lane, but Joe Sanchez still not backing down yet. We've seen him being able to use that outside lane, middle lane, and bottom lane, so, maybe he can gather it back up, cool those tires off just a little bit, and make a final run here at the lead, as we only have about 6 laps to go here in this stage.
We'll have to see what Sanchez can do here. Can he formulate something? I'll tell you what, I saw a little bit of an incident there with 2 drivers, and I think Isaac Mott might be having to bring his car to pit road after major damage. So Isaac Mott, unfortunately, on pit road here, nearing the end of stage 2. But it's right now Garrett Brown closing in on the damaged cars. He gets loose trying to turn down the racetrack. That lets Joe Sanchez go by. Now Garrett Brown going to be losing out big time here, as he's going to get passed by not only the 8 of Dylan Hastings, but the 4 Chris Shoemaker, who's driven himself up the second. Austin Shoemaker, the winner last time we were here in Atlanta. Chris Shoemaker trying to do the same thing, Austin.
Yeah, it really seems like tonight, having a fast car, being the fastest guy out here is, that definitely helps. But it seems like consistency is what's going to win the race tonight, because that's what's looking like is what's going to win the stage with Joe Sanchez. Just not making any mistakes, no slides from him, and he takes that lead back as Garrett Brown just slips just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip there, but good save by Garrett Brown. That could have been, worse than anything for him. So, Joe Sanchez is going to have a little bit of a more comfortable lead here, but not too far behind. Shoemaker is actually really closing it down, and last time by, Shoemaker about a 10th quicker than our leader, Joe Sanchez. So we'll see if the 4 can get it done. But, man, Garrett Brown had that big moment. He held on to it. He'll say he's going to possibly ride it out here to 4th. He's got Progar not too far behind in the 17. But Sanchez, he's going to have a miracle. It's the 4, Chris Shoemaker, quickly closing in here as we close in to lap 80 state.
Yeah, and Zach, going back to these slides and these saves, just kind of to put it in a little bit of a perspective, we had the Gen 6 car. It had so much side force that, the moments that you actually did break the rear end loose, it was pretty easy to save. These cars do not have that same amount of side force, so these cars significantly harder to save. So, just the fact that these guys are getting loose and able to save these things, that really speaks to them as how good of a driver they are.
Dylan Hastings having a little bit of a moment in the 8. That's going to let Garrett Brown actually get to his outside and try to take the 3rd spot behind these two. These two here is closing down to the end of the stage. They're going to be getting the white flag next time by for the stage here at stage number 2. Can Joe Sanchez hold on? He looked so strong in this stage, was able to position himself in the lead at the right time. But it's Shoemaker who's making the late charge here. As then we come to the white flag here for the final time in stage number 2.
I gotta say, Zach, it's going to be pretty close. These 2 leaders right here, 1st and 2nd, coming up on these 2 lap cars. That is going to play a factor, as that dirty air is going to be put on Joe Sanchez. Joe Sanchez looking to the outside, but did get a little bit loose. Chris Shoemaker able to close up. He's going to be right on his bumper as they head into 3.
Here goes the move. Shoemaker to the back bumper, but the 55 of Sanchez down to the bottom. Here comes Charles Phelps and the 18 of Ray Rogers. They're holding up high, but here it comes off of 4. The 55 of Joe Sanchez looks like he's going to hold on and win stage number 2 here tonight for the MPI Cup Series. Great drive there from Sanchez. Shoemaker looks like he's going to bring it home to the 6th spot. Garrett Brown's going to be 3rd. Dylan Hastings 4th. Chris Progar is 5th. 6th is going to go to Justin Hendricks. 7th is Joseph Mahar. 8th is Curtis Kelly. 9th, Alex Muscarella. And rounding out the top 10 is Daniel Michelle, as that is your finishing order there for stage number 2. And Brian, man, what a job by Joe Sanchez there to close that one out.
Yeah, really, really good. Kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. Maybe not has been the fastest guy here tonight, especially on the short and medium run, but definitely on the long run looking pretty good. But mainly just a guy not making any mistakes, not pushing that car over the limit, able to stay consistent, and he's the stage 2 winner.
That he is, Joe Sanchez. What a drive for that 55 machine, and we're going to see, Can't even put this stage into a win later into this race into victory lane. But we're going to head to another commercial break here at Freaky Fast Broadcast, and we'll be back here once we get them going green.
There is Max Papis in the Ferrari. As great a race as Ferrari has ever won.
The steering wheel for me has always been a sensitive spot. There's a whole experience there that we're all trying to refine. Max Papis, he asked me one day, he says, what can I do in a wheel? I said, well, with the new
is that I own MPI, the steering wheel company, and I'm building the steering wheel. This is my creation.
This is yours.
Yes.
This is sexy.
The steering wheel, it's a very unique thing. It's shaped on the hand of Scott Dixon.
His hand.
Yeah. This grip has 27% more grip feel than suede. Scott in the race is gonna make less effort when he drives. When you're in the car, it's like lifting, it's like having 40-pound dumbbell like this, maybe more in the car.
For how long?
3.5 hours. You know, average heart rate in the car, never below 150. Never below 150. You need to be a real athlete to drive.
Yeah.
They exercise every day. So this is my creation.
Amazing.
And we did.
And we are back here at the MPI Cup Series. It's Freaky Fast Broadcasting. I'm Zach Hall, and joined alongside me calling all the action tonight, it's Brian Johnson. And Brian, we just had a fantastic stage 2. A little bit of a different action. You know, stage 1 was filled a little bit more by cautions. This stage here, very much green flag, and it definitely showed you can make passes late in the run if you got the car to do it, man. It doesn't seem like you get stuck behind people.
No, and I think a lot of that is, we've seen at the beginning of stage 2, the top 3, they really kind of sailed out off into the sunset, got a 1-second lead, but, shortly thereafter, those guys, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, were able to close back up on them. So I think it's a little bit of a tire management thing. If you're able to save just a little bit of your tires and keep those temperatures down for the late run, you have that speed to be able to pass these guys. And, of course, with Atlanta being able to utilize, every single lane here, that also helps.
It definitely does. This track, a wonderful track indeed, gives these drivers lots of options. Let's say pace car lights are going to go out. We're going to get Don't File back up with Joe Sanchez, our leader and the winner of stage number 2. Muscarella was the winner there of stage 1. He's all the way back, I believe, in the 24th position. Going to be a tough thing for him there as he got into the wall and had major damage there to close out that stage. Ross Harlow going to start back there in 26. So some heavy hitters starting back there. And one big thing I'm looking at, Brian, this is something I see a common time here at MPI. It seems like, starting up front is not a good thing. We only have 2 drivers who started in the top 10 in the top 20, and that is our leader Joe Sanchez and the driver in the 20th position, Lawson Pill, who started in 9th. So everybody from in between 20th to 1st has pretty much started outside the top 10, and they have it's a mixed bag from there. Progar 40th there and back in 5th. It's about to get crazy here on this restart as we've got so many different drivers up into the mix. Who can we see? Can we see a first-time winner here tonight? I think it's going to happen. With the drivers we have up front, it's looking to be that way. Pace car is in pit road. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing down to 160 laps to end this one out here at the MPI Cup Series. We're back green flag racing as Sanchez takes us across the line and heads down to 1 with the lead. Shoemaker going to hold on to second, but Hastings going to be quickly trying to hold on to third as Garrett Brown's going to have the newcomer Curtis Kelly in the 29, trying to make a great run in that 29 machine, and look at him go.
Yeah, got the old throwback to early 2029 car there, able to pass the 16 of Garrett Brown, take that fourth position, and set his eyes on the top three. As that restart, everybody kind of got spread out there pretty early. As just now they're starting to close back in on each other.
Yeah, you see him do that a little bit of an accordion effect as that leader jumps out there. Then that next lap around, everybody tends to suck right back up. But man, as we've seen, we have a lot of cars damaged here tonight, also with some of the major incidents we've had. So it's kind of spread out our field from really the majority of the 10th position on back, as a lot of those drivers have had major damage repairs. I mean, even one driver I'm looking at back there in the 9th position, it's the 25 of Daniel Michelle. I mean, he has had hit pit road 8 times tonight, and what's crazy to say is his car is completely clean. So he's just been on pit road a lot of times, like in service done. Maybe just getting that car nice and topped off on fuel a lot of times. But yeah, we've had a lot of drivers hitting pit road and using it frequently here tonight, trying to get a lot of damage repairs. As you can see, a lot of these cars hurt here.
Yeah, man, one guy that kind of sticks out to me right now is Steven Stimpian in 11th position. That car is beat up, and just able to drive it back up to 11th position is pretty impressive to me. I mean, the front end of that thing is all smashed up, but somehow he's able to keep all those guys behind him. So, good job by Steven Stimpian there, as these guys up front kind of getting single file as we're heading towards lap 89, almost, or actually not almost, but just past the halfway point.
Yeah, definitely just past that halfway point there. I mean, we're right on board with Dakota Curtis. He had a major moment there. He's in 24th position there. He was a couple, at least 5 to 6 positions higher than this. Had a major moment there, and it slipped back. And just got a feel for Dakota. Was having such a good run in the 7th position earlier in this race, and got hit by a car, and from there just has not recovered. But he's done a great job to, somewhat be right here in the top 20. And with a lot of people damaged, he could very well position himself right back into the top 10 before this thing is set and over. But up ahead of him, the 31, very slow there, getting checked up as Daniel Holcraft is. That's going to bring Swavely in the 32 to a standstill. But look at Tua Stevens. He gets up into the wall. He's slow off of turn number 2, and we're going to stay green there as he keeps it straight for the time being, but it's going to check up a lot of the field. There goes Judd Danielson, a lot of damage for him, and Sean Callis in the 43.
Just a little bit of a slip up there by the two, but just ahead of where that had occurred and what we were looking at, got to remember Alex Muscarella was all the way back, and he was just outside the top 20, I believe, up to 17th already, but still has a lot of ground to make up to get to where he was before, as we still got guys getting loose out of 2, even early in this run.
Yeah, and you're watching right here. This is the battle with Justin Irby here, Ross Harlow in the 18th and 19th position. They got Muscarella up ahead of him. Wilson Peel here, the 88 of Justin Winters. I mean, this is a heavy group of drivers here, and a lot of damage on a lot of these drivers. I mean, and for the 24, Justin Irby is hanging on strong with no front end, I gotta say. So he's done a good job right there. You would expect Harlow to be, much less damaged than him, but Harlow having a tough time still getting by him, as right now it is still heavy battling. Irby not letting that 5 get it done.
Yeah, and with just the way this damage model is, sometimes sometimes the damage that these cars get, you can't always see. Sometimes they happen up underneath somewhere, and we're not able to see it. But just a little bit that we can see on Ross Harlow's car, over on the left front where he had smacked the inside wall earlier. There's still a little bit of a damage there, as he is finally able to clear Irby there. But that little bit of left front damage may not look like much, but I'm sure it's still affecting him somewhat.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhat affecting it. And, we've seen the transition of this car, especially for Ricky Fast Broadcasting. We started broadcasting this next-gen car when it was in very early development phases. And I can tell you, if you put a scratch in the fender back then, it was race over. You might as well pack it up, because it was going to be a long day. Seems like a lot more as time has gone on, they have added to this damage model of this car, and it's seemed to be a little bit tougher and be able to be more resilient with damage. And I think that's what we'll see them even go farther into. We've seen this car be very, very durable in the real life Cup Series, so you never know. We could see possibly some more updates in the future because we got to remember this is an ever changing car, and this is still very new, not only to the guys who race it on, on the real racing, the NASCAR circuit. You know, it's even just a ever changing thing for these guys here on Sunday night at the MPI Cup Series. So it's really cool to see how they grow with it. But this season has been twisty and turny, Brian. But man, some drivers are making the most of it at the most.
Yeah, Brett, no, your leader still Joe Sanchez on lap 96, but he is being hounded right now by the 4 of Chris Shoemaker and Curtis Kelly, and the 29 right there in third. And, Curtis Kelly, first race here tonight, and, he's making a pretty good showing for himself.
He really is, and I tell you what, this is a great way to do it right here in that 29 machine. And I want a great team also. He joined right into the Fast Banana Racing team, and that's got the points that are also Reedy on it. So definitely a great team to go there and learn from, I feel like. So we'll see what Curtis Kelly can do, but I tell you what, you can't look too far behind because Chris Progar right there just attacking the inside line. He has been trying everything his power is. Ooh, Daniel Michelle behind him is going to get to his outside now, actually, for that battle for fourth. As Progar has done everything in his power, almost getting to that third position. He gets another good run, gets side by side here with that 29, but just can't get enough. As now Michelle going to get ahead.
Yeah, and that's it. That's one of the unfortunate things about kind of this package that we have at this mile and a half is, Progar really loose. Can he save it? No, he's going to slam the inside wall, but he's able to keep it straight. I don't believe we will have a caution here. You try so hard to pass on the inside of somebody, can't get it done, and then before you know it, the guy behind you is passing you. So, just a case right there, but just trying to push too hard, trying to make something happen, and unfortunately, it looks like he is going to take this thing down pit road, get that damage fixed, but back on track, the 4 still looking to try to make his way towards Joe Sanchez. Joe Sanchez able to pull out a few car lengths ahead of him in the past few laps here, but just past just under or just over 60 laps to go here. Got to think about when we're going to see some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, that's actually was just coming up into my mind too, Brian. It's getting to that point of where these guys are going to have to start deciding when would they want to come down for a final pit stop of this race. And looking back, everybody stopped there on the lap 81 stop there. So no way they're going 79 laps on a tank of fuel here tonight. And I can't see. Chris Progar took his car behind the wall after that damage. So his night's over. Unfortunately, from the 40th starting spot was just great run he had going on. Had some heavy damage there. So going to bring that car behind the wall. We're going to watch this battle, and with this top 6 up front as they've broken away. That pit stop is definitely going to loom on their minds. You're not going to be, going 79 laps. So I'm thinking, at least, Brian, these guys got to be thinking about 120, maybe 130, maybe, 30 to go is probably, I would say, the marker a lot of these guys are going to be hitting.
Yeah, it seems like, that pitting that halfway, that strategy seems to have kind of not gone out of the window completely, but instead of that being kind of where everybody is pitting, that seems to be kind of the early point now. So yeah, I'm with you, Zach. I'm thinking right around lap 130. That's probably a pretty good mark. As seeing the 25 getting around the 29 there for third place. And keep in mind that 25 car did have heavy damage earlier, and he got that thing fixed, and he's got himself a podium right now.
Yeah, that he did, and still a good job by the 29, nonetheless, to be right up in there. And Daniel, that 25, I feel like he's one we've yet to see break out this season. He showed some glimpses already in this 25 machine, but I'm waiting for him to break out. He had wins last season, didn't come in a mile and a half, but ran very well nonetheless there. And right now, showing good pace as he's driven his way up into the top 3 from the 33rd starting spot. I tell you what, this top 6 here, it's they're not getting separated by much, but all the way back to that 7th spot, it's going to be Justin Hendry and from there, really, it's going to be a giant group of cars. I mean, you're looking all from 7th to 14th, so 7 cars there separated by a little bit over a second there as we're watching Shoemaker that 14 trying to work his way forward from that 34 starting spot. Remember also Shoemaker, he was our winner last time we were here in Atlanta. He's trying to make it back-to-back victories in Atlanta.
Yeah, as you can see, there's Muscarella looking to his outside. Muscarella trying to break back into the top 10. As actually, no, he is in 10th place right now. So already broken into the top 10, trying to make it into the top 5. So, a slower bounce back from him, but a bounce back nonetheless. As they're looking to try to get that 48 machine back up to the front, but he's got a long way to go. But, going back to green flag pit stop, Zach, these guys, they got to be really careful on green flag pit stops. That pit road entry, very, very treacherous.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, it's one of the tougher, I'd say, pit road entries. I mean, not only is it very much, I believe, a harder tighter left-hand turn than most of them, it's just very, very slick. And, oh, man, it looks like our second-place driver had a mistake, actually. He drops back to 6. Chris Shoemaker in the 4 machine. He looks like he had a mistake, possibly coming off a 4. I'm going to have to check that out myself. And, yeah, I can go back and look at that. He got loose coming off a turn 4, and before Chris Shoemaker losing a large amount of time here and almost going to be dropping back to around Justin Hendrick.
Yeah, well, we were watching the 14 there of Austin Shoemaker, and we were talking about, pit road entry there, and I saw over in the distance a car cutting through the grass. I wasn't sure who it was, but sure enough, I think that was the 4 there of Shoemaker, and probably just kind of got loose out of 4, but was able to save it and run through the grass.
They'll take that any day for sure to keep that car clean, and you never know, we still could have a caution right there lurking around the corners. You're looking at this battle. It's the 01 machine there, or sorry, the 81 machine there. Sorry, Steven Stippian and Dustin Reeves in the 6 machine. Sorry, Jeffrey Ford in the 95 machine. As Stippian has made the pass now on 12th for him. He's got that major damage, but he's not too far even behind none of this battle. I mean, he's right behind Shoemaker, Muscarella, Wyatt Brackett, Mahara, all these guys with, much less damage. And Steven Stippian showing what could have been. Again, he's had just that type of season there, Brian. It's been a what could have been season. Got a top 3 to start his rookie campaign off there at Daytona, but just has had a lot of speed. Just has not had the finishes that he would love to have in 81 machine.
Yeah, well, and, looking back at practice times, and of course, those can be skewed by draft and whatnot, what these guys are able to do in practice. But Steven Stippian did have the fastest lap time in practice here in this session with a 31.010. So I think definitely some draft had something to do with it. But it was first nonetheless. So, Steven Stippian obviously had some pretty fast speed here tonight. But, with that damage, I think you'll be happy to take 12th. That's a pretty good recovery from what happened earlier.
Look at this. Here goes Austin Shoemaker. He's watching up ahead with Wyatt Brackett and Alex Muscarella battle. As Muscarella tried to slide job, but Wyatt Brackett there kept it in there. And behind him, Steven Stippian's wrecking in the 81 machine. He's sliding here on the inside lane, and just like that, the car suddenly breaks loose. And Steven Stippian just showing, again, at any moment can happen to anybody out here on this racetrack from 12th. He's going to be looking to maybe bring this car even down the pit road. He may be calling in.
Yeah, well, I think depending on the fuel mileage that these cars get, if you're slow coming out of 2 and saved it, and, this lap time's already going to be kind of out the window. Right now is a pretty good lap to pit on for your green flag pit stop. Granted, it is super early, but, if you can make this your final pit stop of the race and not have to pit again, that's, a good opportunity to do it.
Yeah, you definitely could make it from this point. I mean, it's definitely doable, and, look at this right here. You got Brandon Banks, our pole setter, who was caught up in that one of those original wrecks, unfortunately. Also, James Kunkel. Just a big old gaggle of cars back here. Bill Schoonover. This is about here in the 23rd, 22nd, 24th position. Also got Charles Phelps right in the mix of this. So, yeah, a big group of drivers here who have yet to pit also. We'll see when those drivers finally do elect to do it. But I tell you what, our top 2 starting to pull away. Even Joe Sanchez and Daniel Michelle, they are now 0.96 seconds out on Dylan Hastings and about 1.1 on Curtis Kelly as they continue to battle for that third spot.
Yeah, it's kind of been of a revolving door right there, that third place position, and again, still very impressed with Curtis Kelly, like you said, Zach, on the right team to perform well, and first race here at Atlanta. Atlanta's a tough track, being the first one that you're going to pick. It's tough to pick Atlanta to be your first track, but he's doing well as Daniel Michel up front, all over the back of Joe Sanchez on the front stretch. Looking crazy going into turn one.
Yeah, definitely some crazy shots for sure. Yeah, Curtis Kelly, like you said, Brian, not a tougher track you probably could have picked for your first track to have a debut, but that's just showing his skill right here, and I think everybody's going to take notice immediately, especially you got Garrett Brown. I mean, a past champion here in this series. I mean, so he's got to be taking notice. Hey, this is a guy, first race, he's running up here with us guys, and it's showing. Hastings not too far ahead, but it's Daniel Michel and Joe Sanchez up front right now on lap 115 of 160, and right now they've migrated to the top side. It looks like Joe Sanchez has found out that if he can just hold that top groove and not give up that outside quarter panel, he's seeming to be able to hold it really very well.
Yeah, I think at this point, with these tires as worn down as they are, that inside lane, we have seen guys being able to utilize it, to pass guys and get in position. But I think at this point, the run and, especially, track nip is down from earlier, 112, but, that's still pretty hot. But if you can protect your outside and not let anybody get up there, chances are you're going to be able to hold your position pretty easy because, it's while we have seen it done, it's really tough to make a pass on the inside.
Yeah, it definitely is pretty tough to get that inside pass to work, and Daniel Michel, they're trying to make it happen for the lead up front, but just can't get it done. As Sanchez going to continue to hold on to this lead, and again, Sanchez, another rookie out there. He's showing, this rookie class, Brian, is something to watch out for, man. This will be multiple rookies now victors.
Yeah, which it just really speaks as to this league and the talent they're able to find and bring in. To have multiple rookies winning already. If Joe Sanchez is able to pull it off tonight, that's really great because that just shows the amount of talent that this league attracts.
Yeah, it definitely has been attracting some good drivers for sure. As they got a great thing going on. Is right now we're nearing those pit stop windows, man. It's getting down, and we're going to be not this time here, but the next time by, it's going to be 40 to go. I mean, that's going to be a possible window for a lot of people to come down. I think that's where it opens up. I think that window closes, though, I'd say anywhere around 135 to 140.
Yeah, 140 would, if you're pitting at lap 140, you're definitely banking on a caution at that point because, by the time you pit and get back out there, you're only giving yourself 20 laps to really make those new tires work for you. So, I think, like you said, Zach, lap 135 probably going to be the end of, a realistic pit window right there. But, 130, I think we'll see a lot of guys come in. Had the 5 of Ross Harlow. He pitted last lap, and Joe Sanchez saying he's coming down this lap.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting here. Joe Sanchez, Dylan Hastings, also in the 8 machine. They're all coming down here to pit. And this is going to be coming to 40 laps to go. And this is spicy action right here. Pit road is going to determine a lot right here. Is right now Dan Michel out front. You're leading the way. Garrett Brown staying out along with Curtis Kelly there, but they're losing time as Joe Sanchez hits pit road. What does the group up front do? Do they wait longer or do they flinch now? It's going to be a reactionary pit stop, or do they just wait it out?
Well, I think if you aren't going to pit the lap after the guys that pitted this lap, you're going to want to wait probably 5 or 6 laps. Now, you are going to lose a lot of time by staying out those 5 extra laps, but by pitting 5 or 6 laps later, you get yourself that tire advantage later, and are still giving yourself plenty of time before the checkered flag comes out to try to get those positions back.
Yeah, it gives you the time, and that's the thing. I think with how early Sanchez pit there is now, looks like Michelle going to come down here in the 25 machine. Big lockup there. Hopefully, no issues there getting onto pit road. And from what I'm looking at, no black flags received, so it's a clean entry on the pit road for the 25 machine. We'll see how this all works out once it cycles through, but it's going to be a while before that happens. Right now, as we jump to the lead, it's Curtis Kelly, who has stayed out at this moment to keep the lead. Looks like Joseph Mahara are going to be one of the next drivers to come down also.
Yep, Curtis Kelly, he said he's coming in this lap. Mahar, and he's in 3rd place right now. He's coming in. Justin Hendry coming in as well. Austin Shoemaker, he's going to stay out, and looks like he may lead this lap, and he is.
Shoemaker to the lead. First lap of the night he's led here after winning last season at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Has not been his night so far, but looking for still a good, solid run is that 14 Machines guy. Muscarella not too far behind. Wyatt Brackett also there in the 3rd spot, as those three have a sizable gap back to the 6 of Dustin Reeves, and then a much bigger gap back to the 45 of Brad Fulton.
And I have to imagine, Alex Muscarella, he's, of course, we're in the middle of pit cycles right now, but, I guess we can say he has driven back up into the top 3 where he was earlier. So, I have to imagine he's going to be one of the ones that's going to wait a little longer. He's going to want that tire advantage, and, he's driven up through about 15 cars since he had that little bit of trouble earlier up to now, and as we see Austin Shoemaker coming in this lap, but Muscarella, I believe he'll probably stay out a few more laps.
Yeah, we're going to see how it all plays out. Muscarella now handed the lead here as, like you said, Shoemaker hits his box, and he'll get service done. But Muscarella there, in stage 1, got the damage there, hitting the wall. Now it's going to be Joe Sanchez there, who's already pit, and Dylan Hastings directly behind him, who've already pit. They're going to be coming up on the 48 here, so a little bit of an interesting scenario for these troops here. And also, Daniel Michelle there, who's directly behind him. He pitted 2 laps later, so this could possibly be the battle for the lead once this all cycles through.
Yep, Daniel Michelle right there going to get his lap back, and that's he's going to really want their laps back, as the 8 gets a little squirrely coming out of 2, but it saw off in the distance in front of the 48 last lap on the backstretch, a couple cars getting squirrely, saw some tire marks and some smoke. So if caution comes out at this point and you haven't got your lap back, that's going to be some bad luck for you.
Dylan Hastings hard into the wall in the 8 machine. I mean, he has got major damage. His engine is, I believe, blown. Doesn't have power to that race car as he's heading down the 1, but possibly does. It looks like his speed is picking up, so still a little bit of power into that car, but he took a heavy lick into the wall. Now, again, wrecking loose there off of turn 2. Just cannot hold on to that race car here at the moment. We're going to have to watch and see what happens here. This is looking scary for maybe possibly a caution there. Oh no, looks like maybe having even some issues with this connection. So it's all going wrong for the 8 machine.
Yeah, that's really weird. That was like 2 corners in a row where he had gotten loose on exit and unfortunately just not able to catch it there on the front stretch in the quad oval. But not sure what's going on right there. I don't, because you would have had to take a full tank of fuel right there. If we had a few less laps maybe, and you could say that maybe he only took the amount of fuel he needed to make it to the end, and that's messing with the balance of the car. But I'd have to imagine he put a full tank in it, so just just having some trouble here in the late stages of the race.
Just definitely stepped away from him, and man, it's a tough deal there for the 8 of Dylan Hastings. Is right now Muscarella still out there. Lawson Pill, Justin Irby, Travis Stevens, Daniel Holcraft in the top 5, as Holcraft's going to be on pit road now. But we're going to be coming to 30 to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to head off to our last and final commercial break of tonight here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And when we get back, it should be cycled through to see who's going to be battling for the battle up front here to see who's going to win the Abruzzi Raceway 250.
There is Max Papis in the Ferrari. As great a race as Ferrari has ever won.
The steering wheel for me has always been a sensitive spot. There's a whole experience there that we're all trying to refine. Max Pappas, he asked me one day, he says, what can I do in a wheel? I said, well, with the new
What I'm really proud is that I own MPI, the steering wheel company, and I'm building the steering wheel. This is my creation.
This is yours.
Yes.
It looks sexy.
The steering wheel, it's a very unique thing. It's shaped on the hand of Scott Dixon.
His hand.
Yeah. This grip
Yeah.
has 27% more grip feel than suede. Scott in the race is gonna make less effort when he drives. When you're in the car, it's like having 40-pound dumbbell like this, maybe more. In the car.
For how long?
3.5 hours. You know, average heart rate in the car, never below 150. Never below 150. You need to be a real athlete to drive.
Yeah.
They exercise every day. So this is my creation.
Amazing.
And we did.
And we are back here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Is wow, what we're seeing here is still Alex Muscarella out front, not having yet pit. Lawson Peel also in the same boat, and Travis Stevens in the two have yet to pit here. So that group still not yet to pit for our top three, but it's going to be Joe Sanchez, who would be technically the leader if everything was to be cycled through at the moment, as they're up to fourth with Dan Michelle directly behind in the fifth position with Curtis Kelly about 2 seconds back in sixth.
Yeah, so you can see, that green flag pit stops, Joe Sanchez and Daniel Michelle right there, really able to capitalize that as, Curtis Kelly lost a little bit of time right there. So good job by them. And, if you're Joe Sanchez, just got to keep doing what you're doing, what you've been doing the whole race ever since you got to the lead. You got this guy breathing down your neck. But, Joe Sanchez, one of the few guys tonight that we've seen that really hasn't had any big slidey moments and no big loose moments. So, he's just got to keep this up for the next about 20-25 laps.
Yeah, we'll see if they can keep this up at this pace. But, man, I'll tell you what, Muscarella, he's got to be banking on a yellow right here. He's definitely feeling the need to stay out here for as long as possible. We've seen him at Auto Club, Brian. I know you weren't up in the booth with us, but we've seen him at Auto Club stretch the fuel mileage. I mean, to a point where I didn't think you could do. I mean, I don't see a world where he makes 79 laps happen. I know we have a 20-gallon fuel tank in these race cars on an 18.7 like we used to with the Gen 6, but still, I just don't see the 79 laps being able to be done here. But I think he can at least get within 10 to go, though.
Yeah, that's something I did forget about, Zach, was that we do have these bigger fuel tanks. So, he's able to stretch that even further than he, could have before. So, like you said, definitely banking on a caution here. And, from what we've seen earlier in the race, it doesn't take much to get one. All it takes is just a small mistake from a couple guys, and, that yellow flag comes out. So, I think banking on a caution here tonight, it's not, being as hopeful as it would be as at some other tracks.
Yeah, I tell you, this is going to be interesting to see how it all works out for Muscarella, Lawson Peel, and Travis Stevens, who have yet to pit. I mean, they're definitely gambling big time here, because if they have to come down and hit pit road, they're going to lose out major spots, and that could be a huge loss in points for them. And Going into next week, a big unknown I think for a lot of people out there, it's Coda, the Circuit of the Americas. Don't miss out on that, as we're going to have that here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Me and myself and Brian Johnson here calling all that action here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But yeah, I mean, heading into Coda next week, Brian, is we got 20 to go here. These drivers, they think they had a tough day here. It could get even tougher at that track out in Texas.
Yeah, and with that being the next race on the schedule, that's good news for Mirinda, last week's winner. We talked to him last week, and he says he feels very confident on those short tracks and those road courses. So hopefully he can put himself something together next week. As tonight just not his night. He's going to finish 38th, but some other guys out here able to capitalize on to some of these other guys' unfortunate mistakes, as the 25 Daniel Michel, big loose coming out of 2 and able to save that thing probably about 3-4 times going down the back stretch. So good job by him for keeping that thing out of the wall.
Oh man, that was major moments. And look at Garrett Brown directly behind him, who's drove himself up directly behind him, who was going to be a net third once it's all cycled through, but he has a major loose moment. Here's Curtis Kelly, and not too far behind there, Chris Shoemaker in the 4 machine, who had a moment earlier, who lost the pack. So man, this is shaking up to be pretty wild, as Sanchez is going to have a nice sizable little gap back here once this all cycles through. If we stay green, Sanchez could be looking to have a strong hold on this lead.
Yeah, and I think what he has to do right now, he's got these lap cars in front of him that are pretty spaced out. I think if he's able to keep at least one lap car in between him and Michelle in the 25, his chances of winning go up tremendously with that little bit of buffer.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think that will really have a huge effect on the ending of this race. I mean, normally those type of things do, and we'll see when the group comes to pit road. It looks like maybe Lawson Pill. Yeah, Lawson Pill in the 53. He's the first of our top 3 to pit road. That positions Joe Sanchez up to 3rd now. He is going to be the first car on the new set of tires, then all the way back to 25, Daniel Michelle there. It's about 1.3 seconds, and the big thing, Sanchez's guy, he's got Parker Bland there behind him, but now we're watching. Look at this, Muscarella. He hits pit road, big lockup for him. We'll have to see. Does he? Yeah, he gets actually. I can see it here on the one of the beautiful things iRacing has brought to us. We can actually see black flags and meatball flags, as we call them, for required repair now. And Alex Muscarella, he is blown through pit road there on the entry. He's going to have a penalty here, be held for 40 seconds.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, pit road entry, one of the most difficult ones on the schedule. And, the reason it is so difficult is, he's got, 64, 65 laps on his tires at this point. So these tires really worn really slick, that track really slick. And, you're coming across the apron, and it's kind of got 2 sections there. One's more banked than the other. So you're coming across that really upsets the car. And, you got to slow down, obviously, to make it to pit road speed, but coming across those different sections of the apron, it's really easy for a tire to lock up as you're coming across there. So you really got to be kind of balanced with how fast you're slowing down, and just how straight that car is. So a lot of times if you mess up, it's either speed through pit road or go off into the grass. So he elected to speed through pit road there.
There it is, Travis Stevens. We've seen it. He pulls the pit road. Final car to pit. Now the lead of Joe Sanchez here, as we're going to be closing down on 10 to go here very quickly. Behind the group, though, is Parker Bland, Daniel Michelle. They make contact. They're going to bring out the yellow here quickly, and this is going to change the whole playing aspect of this game. Man, drivers that just hit pit road, they could be looking to stay out.
They could, but I tell you what, Alex Muscarella, he's still kind of kicking himself, though, because if he would have waited just a couple more laps, if he had the fuel, he would have definitely won the caution lottery right there.
And man, oh man, that caution there looks like just contact between the 25 of Daniel Michelle and the 01 of Parker Bland, as he tried to go by and put the 01 a lap down to get by to go run down Joe Sanchez. You're going to see here the 25 on the bottom, the 01 up top. The 25 is going to lose the nose of his race car, and it's just going to go up the hill from there into the side of the 01. and that one just getting clipped and sent around, and man, that's gonna give some pretty heavy damage to Daniel. Also in the 25, that's gonna be a tough break for him. But not only that, but Parker Blandon, the 01, who was running a good rate, or was having a tough race back there in the 30th position. This just got tougher.
Yeah, and that 25, he had got damage earlier and drove back up through the pack, and put it together a good comeback and a good race for him. And just unfortunate. That was similar to what we saw earlier in the race with the 5 car of Harlow, where he was just underneath, and the cars just kind of started getting real tight and plowing and going up the hill there. So I gotta wonder if these cars kind of go through a really, really tight stage, kind of mid-early run.
Yeah, it's very possible that that could be the factor playing this out. Is look at this here, Joe Sanchez won the race off of pit road, and he will be the first car off pit road and be our leader. And I was worried to see, did anybody able to beat the pace car out there that just had pit that put tires on, but doesn't seem it's going to be that way. It's going to be Joe Sanchez out front. Looks like Garrett Brown in second, Curtis Kelly going to come out in the third position, with fourth going to Chris Shoemaker, in the fifth place position going to Daniel Michelle.
Yeah, so here we go. Got a caution out, and we're going to go back green with less than 10 laps to go. So the intensity has just been turned up to 11. And what do you think we are going to see these guys do here, Zach? What are they going to be capable of? What are they willing to do to win?
Ooh, I think you're going to see a lot of risks being taken. I mean, if you look here in our top 10, none of these drivers have won a race this season. I mean, it's, Mahar, he won a dual race. So I guess you can say he won a race. Shane Wyatt there, he won a dual race also, and I guess you could say that. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody here is going to be looking for victory. I mean, it's going to be all out till the end. I mean, if you're Joe Sanchez up front, you're sitting in a good spot. You got to feel pretty good having the clean air here to have a short run down to the end. But you also know how strong and powerful that draft is. Garrett Brown's going to be sitting in a good spot. Curtis Kelly could he come out here for a first race of his career here at the MPI Cup Series and just win the thing. I mean, that would be a sight to see. And you've got Chris Shoemaker there, Joseph Bahar, Wyatt Brackett, Shane White there in seventh, Justin Hendry in eighth, Dakota Curtis. He had such a tough break running seventh early in this race. Didn't think he'd get nowhere near that, but he's fought his way back up to ninth. And in 10th place, it's Brad Fulham in the 45, man. So a lot of drivers right here trying to get everything done.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible to think about the fact that everybody in the top 10 has not won a race this season. A lot of those guys either just got into some trouble or had trouble earlier in the race, or unfortunately in Austin Reedy's case, not able to show up. So, this race, if we didn't think that, the points were going to be shaken up until this point, well, they're definitely going to be shaken up now, because you got guys all over the place, points wise, and so really just putting pressing the shuffle button on the point standings after this race.
Oh, it definitely has. I mean, I'm just looking at the standings myself right now. I mean, you look at Austin Reedy, Muscarella, Warren, Kyle Keith, Marinda. I mean, your top four, all of those drivers not had good nights. I mean, Muscarella won that stage, but just didn't, happen there for him. But Garrett Brown, fifth in points. He's going to be restarting here on the front row. What can he do? I mean, like I said, a past champion here at the series here, at the Cup Series here. We can see him possibly trying to get that first victory of the season here. Let's see what he can do. It's going to be go time here, as when this pace car pulls in, it's going to be 9 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Abruzzi Raceware 250. It's been a great night so far here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Let's see what the MPI Cup Series can do to close us out here. It's going to be 9 laps to go. Green flag is in the air. Sanchez is off and away as he heads across the line. Great start for him. Garrett Brown, though, very slow. It's going to let Shoemaker slide up to the second spot, along with Daniel Michelle up to third.
Yeah, big wheel spin moment from Garrett Brown there on the bottom lane, and fortunately for Joe Sanchez, that's going to spread him out here as we got a caution, so we get to re-rack him and do it again.
Oh, big wreck here, big mess on the back straightaway. It is carnage here ensuing as it's going to bring out another caution here tonight, our sixth of the evening. And it's looking like cautions, as they say, cautions breed cautions. Parker Bland involved in this one. Looks like Daniel Holcraft, the 48 at Muscarella, the 14 of Shoemakers. We go back on the freaky fast replay. You're going to see here, this is the 14 machine we are focusing on, but it's the 48 up ahead. I think it's going to be a major stack up here as they head off of turn number 2, and you're going to see the 14 here. And it's already happening up ahead of these drivers, actually. It looks like the 3 of Kunkel and the 31 there. Looks like they may have started all that there around Daniel Holcraft and the 3 of James Kunkel. So major incident happened up ahead of them. Is actually it was contact from Harlow in the 5 to the 31, who actually came down across the nose there of the 5. So looks like some contact there between Daniel Holcraft and Ross Harlow. And man, up into the 3 of Kunkel up high, and from there it just transpired into a way bigger incident than what it was.
Yeah, again, just small mistakes leading to some big havoc out there as more guys getting some more damage, and unfortunately, that's you know uh taking out Muscarella as well. So, his kind of, bad race turning into a worse one as we get to the closing stages of this thing. But, going back to the guys up front, talking about Garrett Brown, unfortunately had some wheel spin, had that bad restart. Instead of starting in third, now he's going to start fifth here on this next restart. So, Joe Sanchez having to worry about two different guys behind him now.
Yeah, now he's going to have Chris Shoemaker on the front row with a Wyatt Brackett there, who's worked his way up into third. Sorry, I said that was Daniel Michelle earlier. That's actually Wyatt Brackett there in the 10 machine, who has quietly worked his way up. He's had damage for majority of the night, but right here at the end of this race, could be looking to, still a win, still top 3. I mean, he would definitely be happy with that in the 10 machine for sure, as he's needing whatever it could take to get himself up in the points, as it's been a tough start to his season after making the Final Four last season in the Cup Series. But man, Sanchez has been rock solid so far, Brian. I mean, I don't know any other way how he's going to do this other than he's just going to have to the cover off all the lanes and make sure he's picture perfect here. I think the shorter the run is, the easier it's going to be for him to hold him off. The more laps we get there, the bigger the runs will be that are coming from behind.
Yeah, I think if you're in his position, you'd almost like to see one more caution. That way we can have, something close to a green-white checkered. Because, like you said, Zach, when you only got 2 laps, you really only have to block off maybe 2, 3, 4 runs at the most from the guys behind you. But the more laps there are, the more runs you're going to have to block. But, from what I've seen out of Joe Sanchez here tonight, he's one of the more consistent guys. He's got speed, and just haven't really seen those little tiny mistakes from him. So, I think if he can keep that up, he stands a pretty good shot at winning this thing. But I definitely would not count the 4 of Chris Shoemaker out. He has been right there pretty much ever since the end of stage 2 there. He's been right up there in the top 5. And then, like you said, Wyatt Brackett just slowly kind of making his way forward. I hadn't really talked about him a whole lot here tonight so far, but here he is in 3rd place. And then, of course, looking back at Curtis Kelly, really started making his way up through the field about stage 2, and has really kept it up here. And again, first race here tonight for him with MPI. So even if he doesn't get the win here tonight, it's been a good run for him. But I wouldn't count him out either.
I definitely would not either, man. There's so many contenders that can play out right here in the final portion of this. And, they brought up Garrett Brown spinning those tires. It was unfortunate for him on that front row. He lost the lap track position there, dropped back to 5th. But this re-rack, this caution here, it's giving him a chance. I'm telling you, there's stuff that could still happen here that could easily put someone as far back as the 6th, 7th position being able to get up into this lead. So we're going to have to watch how it all plays out here, Brian. But where do you think the 55 is going to have to defend? Is it the top or the bottom?
Well, I think it really depends on how this restart goes for everybody here, but I'd have to imagine it's going to come from the top. We've seen where the top lane is kind of the dominant lane for about the first 5-6 laps here, so I think he's going to have to defend the outside here for the first few laps, and then probably for the last 2 or 3 laps, he's going to have to be blocking pretty much everywhere.
Well, let's see how he can do it here. Pace car lights are off. Joe Sanchez looking for his first win here at the MPI Cup Series, leads us to the green flag here as we're going to have 4 laps to go when he crosses the line. Joe Sanchez is off and away. Shoemaker with a good start there on the bottom line is able to hold strong there in second, but it's going to be the 29 of Curtis Kelly, the newcomer this week, up into the second spot here, looking as they come off a 2.
Yeah, great restart of the 29, already up to second place, and might clear the 4 of Shoemaker right here as he is, but we are going to have another caution.
And it's a big one. I mean, gigantic wreck happening back here, and we could have the possibility of 3 green line checkers here even. So very interesting. But it looks like the 95 of Jeffrey Ford where all this action started, and looks like he's getting a little bit loose here. So I think we'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay here, and going to be an unfortunate instance. You're going to see that 95 machine just break loose in the center corner. Ross Harlow, who's been in the mix for majority of the night, right there behind him, is going to give him a little bit of a tap there as he's getting a little bit more loose. And looks actually maybe Harlow actually didn't even get a touch. It just seems like getting loose there and down in the Charles Felts. And from there, I mean, Harlow's involved. Dan Michelle, I mean, the 2 of Travis Stevens, the 8 of Dylan Hastings. So many drivers. James Kunkel. It's just a parking lot here off of turn 2 as they continue to wreck.
Yeah, I guess the good news at this point in the race with these big wrecks is that we've had so many of these multi-car wrecks that a lot of those guys that were involved in that wreck just then already had heavy damage, so it's not really hurting them all that much.
It's man, this is a lot of guys, like you said, it doesn't matter, but it's definitely some tough breaks for some guys, and definitely a frustration to a boiling point. It's bad enough when you're having a bad day and you're running back where you don't want to be, but when you get involved in multiple little incidents in the race, I think it just adds that cherry on top for making yourself a little bit frustrated. And, hey, Coda next week, maybe take a little frustrations out there, a little beating and banging to the competition. You never seen nothing like that at a road course, have you?
No, and I'm really excited about that race next week, Zach, because we got this new car here, this next gen, and one of the main focuses with it is making these things run better and faster at road courses. So hopefully we can see that being brought to iRacing at COTA next week with these guys in MPI. And COTA is such a unique track. It's a great track. It's got all sorts of elevation changes. Pretty much every single corner is different and different from any other road course in the world. So COTA is I think a really good track to bring these cars to, and glad to see it in real life, and we'll here on at MPI next week. So that's going to be a great one to watch. You're not going to want to miss that one because it's one of those historical things. First race.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a fun one to watch. First road course race of the season too. Is we got a few of those this season, and that'll give us a little telltale sign of what to watch out for those races. So we know Mario Miranda very dominant last season at those road courses, but do we have any rookie contenders that can step up, or some drivers from the last Cup Series who brought their A game this season? It's definitely going to be fun to watch. But yeah, I can confirm we're heading into overtime here, Brian. It's OT at the MPI Cup Series here. Attempt number 1 here. Pace car lights are still on. I believe they'll be going out this next time around, but we're going to have 3 attempts here. First one here coming up next. But man, Sanchez, I think he wants to see now. We talked about it. Maybe he wanted to see this green white checkered, to shorten up the amount of time he needed to defend. Now definitely wants to see this thing go no longer than it has to pass regulation.
Oh yeah, no, I think just from blocking the run standpoint, he definitely wanted to see one more caution, but from here on out, no more cautions, because every restart that he has to do brings extra opportunities to make a mistake on those restarts, and as we've gone through probably three restarts now on this set of tires. These rear tires don't have the grip that they used to, so with every restart the risk of wheel spin gets higher and higher. And, we've already seen guys like Garrett Brown, he spun the tires. So, it could happen to anybody, even Joe Sanchez. So, he's got to still stay on top of it. And, I think if he can have a restart like he did the past two, he's got a pretty good shot.
Well, is it going to be our last attempt here to get this race in, or will we have two more? As this is our first attempt here in overtime here at the MPI Cup Series for the Abruzzi Raceware 250 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to see who can get it done, who's going to get the victory, who's going to be the first time victor this season. As it's going to be Joe Sanchez up front, and it's been a revolving door there for that second spot. As it's now Curtis Kelly, as he's got Shoemaker in third. Wyatt Brackett back and forth. Get ready, folks, because it's about to get wild here at the MPI Cup Series. Pace car is in. Barney with the flag, man, waits for Joe Sanchez as he heads to the restart zone. Sanchez is off and away. Green flag is in the air as we cross the line. Sanchez with a great start. Brackett trying to pull a nose ahead of Kelly, but Kelly trying to pull that bottom lane forward.
Yeah, great restart out of Joe Sanchez. That's exactly what he needed to do. And the 10 and 29 were side by side heading into 1 and 2, but coming out, it's going to be Curtis Kelly bringing home that second position here with 2 to go.
2 laps to go, penultimate time through 3 and 4. Sanchez up the racetrack trying to defend every bit of momentum he has as they come out of turn 4. We're going to look up, and yes, it is. It's going to be official. It's your freaky fast white flag. It's 1 to go here for the Abruzzi Raceware 250 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Joe Sanchez looking to pull this off. They're getting a little bit mixy behind as Bahar goes around their wreckage, but up front, it's going to be Sanchez. He's got Kelly in tow. Brackett there in third, but it's not going to be enough, I believe, as he's going to head to 3 and 4 for the final time tonight. Joe Sanchez, a rookie coming into the MPI Cup Series, got a top 3 at Las Vegas, but he's going to be your winner here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Abruzzi Raceware 250 at the MPI Cup Series.
Oh man, and just behind him, the Ford Chris Shoemaker just able to squeeze out third place away from Wyatt Brackett. That was a great race to watch behind him, side by side as they come to the line. But congrats to Joe Sanchez. Gotta say, he was the guy that made the least amount of mistakes tonight, and here he is with the win.
What a job by Joe Sanchez here to get the victory in the 5th start here at the MPI Cup Series. And what a way to do it here on the bright stage at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, this historic venue, and possibly the last time the MPI Cup Series will race this configuration of it. It's going to be a special win here as he's going to have Lawson Pill, one of his fellow rookies, come up here, give him a little bit of a bump to show his appreciation. And here he goes. Joe Sanchez going to celebrate on the front straightaway of the Atlanta Motor Speedway as he's going to be your race winner here tonight. And Brent and Brian, what a drive it was from him. He just got to the lead there in that final stage, man, after stage 2, and just never lost control of this thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely, clean air helps, but like I said, he just didn't have any of those little slide moments, loose moments. He was really consistent with his driving and able to keep those tires under him. So, just being able to stay consistent, that sometimes not being super fast and everybody else will help you win the race. Sometimes it's just about keeping that car as straight as possible.
It was, Brian. Well, we're going to go get our top 3 drivers all ready for our post-race interviews. It's going to be Joe Sanchez, Curtis Kelly, and Chris Shoemaker here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As we've concluded the Abruzzi Raceware 250, we're going to get post-race interviews here in the next few moments. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We got our top 3 drivers here from the Abruzzi Raceware 250 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's Chris Shoemaker in the 4 machine, who's going to bring it home in the 3rd position here tonight in that 4 machine. Let's talk to Chris after his first top 3 of the season here in the MPI Cup Series. Hey, Chris, it's Zach and Brian up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Hey, we got you.
Hey, Chris, well, great run tonight. 36th the third. I mean, biggest mover of the night. I mean, just what a drive from you there, man. I mean, up front, battling for the lead there for a lot of that, but had a slight mistake that dropped you back, but that caution brought you right back in the mix. And, man,
Right.
Able to bring home that top 3, that's got to feel great.
Oh, yeah. I was up there with Joe and got loose, got under him and went through the grass. Somehow it stayed straight. And I was pretty lucky there. It was a pretty good gap I could fall into and kind of regroup there. But, yeah, I thought it was over at that point.
Hey, Chris, is Brian in the booth, and just want to ask you about how kind of this car was handling tonight. We've seen a lot of guys getting loose out of 2 and loose out of 4, and
yeah.
was it a case of a push loose, or was the car just was it kind of like an overall loose on exit, or just how was that car handling?
It's just coming off the corner, and it'll get loose and it'll just snap on you. It'll just come around, and you got to be real careful. You're just stabbing right in the wall. And I hadn't been having too many problems with turn 4. That's why it caught me off guard a little bit there when I got loose and went through the grass. But man, coming off 2, yeah, it's deadly. You got to be careful with it.
Yeah, we've seen it definitely was for a few guys tonight. Luckily, you had a great save there through the grass, Chris, and was able to come back to bring it in the 3rd spot. And, it sets you up for the first road course race of the season there coming up next week at COTA. How you thinking about that coming up, man?
Hey, I like COTA. I mean, it'll be fun. Something different. I haven't ran it with these next gens, but looking forward to it.
Awesome stuff, Chris, man. We can't wait to head off to COTA next week. But before we do that, man, anybody want to send a shout out to tonight for your 3rd place finish?
Oh, yeah, of course, my whole team. We got Dustin and Austin and Garrett Brown, Bill Schoonover. Appreciate those guys. I mean, we've been working hard this year, and I think it's showing on the track. We're doing real good as a team. I think Austin got into a little pile up there at the end, unfortunately. But, yeah, I think everybody's running good this season. But I want to thank my brother, my wife, of course. They tune in every week, listen to you guys, and I appreciate them.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. You have a great night, man, and we'll catch you at COTA next week.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody. That was your 3rd place driver, Chris Shoemaker there in that number 4 machine, bringing home that 3rd place position here tonight. What a drive it was for him. But I tell you what, we got a newcomer here. We had rookies. We got 2 rookies technically now to talk to, but we got a rookie of the night because Curtis Kelly here, first start here in the MPI Cup Series. He's going to bring it home in that 2nd place position. And what a drive it was for him. Let's talk about his first start here at the MPI Cup Series. Hey, Curtis, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, well, man, I tell you what, just a great way to debut here at the MPI Cup Series. Take us through your first race here, man, at Atlanta. You drove up from that 30th starting position all the way to 2nd.
I mean, right off the bat, I just want to say thanks to the guys at MPI for giving me the chance. Starting season 4 races down, it's a little hard, but we had a good showing tonight. Would have loved to follow in the footsteps of my new teammate Reedy there, driving for Fast Banana Racing. But yeah, I just kind of decided to start from the back tonight, play it safe, see what happened, and make sure I had the car at the end. I was able to get in there, I think 7th place, 8th place on the 2 stages, get some of those bonus points, start making up the difference. But it was just a case of trying to let the car come in during the long run and hopefully get those green flag runs, which is where we really showed our speed. And got lucky. Couple late race cautions, fresh tires, bringing home 2nd place.
Hey, Curtis, it's Brian in the booth, and going back to that, that last restart there, it had a great restart, cleared the 10 coming out of 2. Is there anything else you could have done differently to try to battle Joe Sanchez there for the win, or was it just a case of, just didn't have the short run speed and that dirty air affecting you?
I think it really was a case of that dirty air washing the cars, and the cars seem to come in a lot more once you get about 5 to 10 laps on them. You can use a lot more of the track surface, but in that short run, you really just got to get up front and get to that high line. Tried sending it on the bottom, but it would just wash up. So good race to Joe. He was great on all the restarts and had long run pace throughout the night.
Yeah, you definitely did, man. But I tell you what, it was a great showing for you in your debut here at the MPI Cup Series. Next week we head off to COTA, though, Curtis. First road course of the season, your 2nd race. How you feeling about that one, man?
I showed well at the road courses when I've run there before, so here's hoping we have it this time. Haven't run them at the road courses too much since we got the new packages on the car, but I shouldn't expect it to be that different.
Well, man, hopefully it plays out well for you there also, as you'll be able to bring home a second place finish here tonight at Atlanta. But before we let you get out of here, Curtis, anybody want to send a shout out to for your second place finish here tonight?
Shout out to the team, Fast Banana Racing. Thanks, Wyatt and Reedy, for inviting me on board. We got a couple other new drivers in there from disbanded teams, so looking forward to racing with those guys this season. Got a fast group, and just shout out to my spotter tonight, Colin Forrester, guy I run with in another league. He was just there helping crew chief the race and see what I couldn't see, and I think he played a big part in this win.
Well, man, congrats.
Not win, second place, my bad.
All good, Curtis, man. Hey, it's coming soon. It's coming soon, man. So we're definitely hoping for that. But again, congrats on second, and we'll catch you next week at Coda, buddy. Hopefully, again, up here talking to us in the booth.
Yep, look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody. That was your second place driver here tonight at Curtis Kelly in the 29 machine. What a drive it was for him in his debut here at the MPI Cup Series. But now we're going to move on to another one of our rookies here at the MPI Cup Series. That's Joe Sanchez in the 55. He's got his first victory of the season here in race number 5. Let's hear from the 55 machine of Joe Sanchez. Hey, Joe, it's Zach and Brian up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Got you guys.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, great job here tonight. Been able to pull home the victory in your 5th start here in the MPI Cup Series. I mean, had that top 3 finish there at Las Vegas. You bring that speed from the 1.5 miles over here to Atlanta, win that second stage, and then get the victory. I mean, how nice does that feel here to pull off the victory in your 5th start, man?
It feels really good. Atlanta's definitely its own beast. I'm kind of happy. iRacing didn't get the update, and we can get one more good race on this old surface. It's definitely a handful, and definitely prevalent to who can kind of conserve their stuff for a long run, which I'm happy we were able to get a couple. But had a disappointing week last week. I thought I had a really good shot at a win there. Really fast car. Got caught up in a couple wrecks, but just kept the whole thing clean today, and glad we only had one green white checker there.
Yeah, hey Joe, it's Brian in the booth, and we were actually talking about that, how you were hoping there weren't going to be any more green-white checkers after that last one. But, looking to next week, we go to Circuit of the Americas, COTA, the first time that we've really taken these cars there. And just kind of run us through, do you have any experience with COTA and, with these Cup cars, these A cars, how much road course experience do you have, and do you think you can carry that momentum into next week?
I've done a little bit of road racing with these. Unfortunately, not on COTA. I've raced a couple of GT3 cars there. It's definitely a track not designed for these, so it's gonna be a difficult race. I think anyone who could keep all 4 tires, on the racing surface throughout the whole race is gonna wind up with a fairly decent finish. But just being really smooth there. I have pretty good success at Watkins Glen and the Daytona road course, but COTA is definitely going to be a different animal with all the blind corners and blind braking zones. So definitely know we have a bunch of good road course racers in here, so hopefully can keep that momentum up to next week.
Well, man, I tell you what, Joe, it was a fun time watching you battle up front with all your competitors out here at the MPI Cup Series, able to pull off that first victory of the season here for you in race number 5 at Atlanta, man. Congrats on that. But before we let you get out here and go get prepared for COTA, anybody want to send a shout out to for that victory before you can go celebrate?
A shout out to my Drinker Bros teammates. I feel really bad for Michelle there. We were working really well together, trying to pull away from the field, and he got caught up with some of the lap car messes that was going on throughout the race. So I want to give a shout out to those guys. I see Lawson ended up pulling up a decent finish despite getting in a couple of wrecks. Wish I had my sponsor on the hood this week, Our Rescue. Sucks I can't get a victory for them, but hopefully we can moving forward. And another sponsor, Paul's Setup Shop. They've been really helpful with Drinking Bros and running our open setups for officials and a couple other leagues we're in. So I want to give them a shout out as well, and to you guys and everyone who puts this league on each and every week.
Well, Joe, we thank you so much, buddy, for putting on a show with your competitors out there each and every week. It was a pleasure to call all the action here tonight. And, man, go have fun and celebrate this thing, getting your first victory here at the MPI Cup Series. And you have a great night, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, everybody. That was your winner here tonight for the Abruzzi Raceware 250. Joe Sanchez in the 55 machine. What a job it was by him. 5th start, hey, and first win. So what a job it was for that 55 machine. We'll be looking to pull up our race results here and go through and see how our freaky fast top 10 were and see who are some notable drivers throughout the rest of that running order. As you can see here now, Joe Sanchez pulling off that victory. Second's going to go to Curtis Kelly in his debut here. Third's going to go to Chris Shoemaker from the 36th position starting. Fourth's going to go to Wyatt Brackett. Fifth's going to be Shane Wyatt there, another rookie in the top 5. Sixth's going to go to Dakota Curtis with a great rebound for him after early damage on that car. Seventh's going to go to Garrett Brown, fighting for that lead at the end. Eight's going to go to Justin Winters. Ninth's going to be Lawson Pill with early damage in this race. And a top 10 finish there for Dustin Reeves in the 6th machine as that rounds out the freaky fast top 10. As look through the rest of the order, definitely some notable names throughout this whole entire order. It was a mixed bag here tonight, but for sure, I mean, gotta say, a really big talking point tonight was just how many incidents we had. I mean, you had the incident Marinda, Zach Wilson, and Harlow that started all this off. And Marinda and Zach Wilson, they're going to finish 38th and 39th here tonight. And then our winner from Las Vegas, Morikawa Keith, he's going to finish 37th, Brian. So just some mixed bag of results for a lot of guys here tonight.
Yeah, and then even kind of looking up above those guys, you got guys like Brandon Banks. He was having some pretty good races there. Going to finish 11 laps down in 29th. Muscarella going to finish 28th. And then, above them, Richard Swavely, 2 laps down, going to finish 23rd. He's going to lose a couple spots championship points wise. And, like you said, Ross Harlow going to finish 17th. So, not a terrible race by any stretch, but, definitely not the race he was looking for himself tonight, but decent amount of points from where he is in the championship standings.
Yeah, definitely different nights for different drivers, I would say. It's just all over the place. It's always unexpected here at the MPI Cup Series, man. Through the first 5 races here, we've got the pleasure to do 4 of them, and it's been back and forth. I mean, each and every week, new contenders, and other than Austin Reedy going back to back to start the season, it's been very mixed from there on out. So we're going to see how it plays out from here on out. As we're going to be heading to Coda next, Brian. And how do you feel about that track? Because, man, Coda is going to be very interesting as we're going to check out our upcoming schedule here. As you can see, we just completed the Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight. Tomorrow night, do not miss out, 8:50 Eastern. It's going to be me and Brian Johnson again up here in the booth, calling all the action at the NISCC Truck Series Race Car Graveyard Truck Series at Iowa Speedway. And it's going to be a timed race, ladies and gentlemen. So come out and check that out. Not laps. Yes, like I said it. Timed. It's going to be wild. The drivers are going to have to keep up on all types of strategies, as it's going to be all over the place for sure there. As Wednesday night, we head back to the Underdog Race League, 8:30 Eastern there at the Chicagoland Speedway. And then we're going to have a off week on our Thursday night and our Saturday night there at the Stars and Stripes Racing League and the NISCC Cup Series. So, yeah, off weeks there on Thursday and Saturdays, but we got 2 more nights of racing action here on Mondays and Wednesdays. But, Brian, any final thoughts, buddy, before we close out here tonight at the MPI Cup Series from yourself?
Man, I love Atlanta, love this old Atlanta, and unfortunately, I do think this is going to be one of the, if not the last, one of the last races that we're going to see at this old configuration. So, at least we got to see a fantastic show, some fantastic drivers making some crazy saves, and making great pit road entries there with that one green flag pit stop that we had. But gonna be sad to see it go. This track got a lot of history, and as you can see, it races really well. You can use all sorts of lanes and got tons of options as a driver. But it doesn't mean that the next time we come here, if we do get the new configuration, that's going to be a bad race. It's just going to be a different race. So while it's going to be sad to see this one go, going to be excited to see what iRacing brings us with that new configuration.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Brian. I can't wait to see what we got in the store for future here on the iRacing. And yeah, this track here, definitely a sad time to see it go. But I feel like this won't be the last time I call a race here. I feel like this track's still going to be very well used, and hopefully, iRacing Wink Week, we keep it there as a legacy racetrack for future, because this thing is definitely historic. But man, I gotta say thank you to everybody who tuned in here tonight at the MPI Cup Series. It was a pleasure to call all the action here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you didn't enjoy it, make sure you hit that dislike button so we can know. We definitely like to know what you folks out at home think of our broadcast. So if you didn't enjoy it, make sure you hit the thumbs down. If you would also like to share to your friends and family, hit the share button. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button so you can be notified each and every time we go live and keep up with all of our leagues that we broadcast here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a pleasure to call all the action. I'm Zach Hall and Brian Johnson alongside me calling all the action here tonight with Robert Moyer Jr. at the booth. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch us on the next one. Peace out.